picking it from the angle of prospecting, the angle of making, talking about the 7 steps, right, to sales, most time, all of us, we mix it up, right? We mix it up, and Dr. Stephen Akita will make it known to us that the first thing you want to do is prospecting. Then after prospecting, you want to start making contact to also qualify all of these, your clients. And the third one is uncovering and customer need. You want to start uncovering what your customer needs are. Why the fourth one is making product presentation, because the problem most of us make is at the very point that we ought to be prospecting, we're already making product presentation. While the fifth one is uncovering and handling objection. It is very, very important. So it is how you now uncover what their needs are and handle their objection very well that will lead to the sixth aspect, which is closing. Right, and he gave the experience that he had with Grant Cardone when he was immediately closed. So the question is that when it's time for you to close, you want to ask, are you ready to pay now? And if the person is not ready to pay now, he can give you a definite time that he's going to eventually pay. Then one of the major things that most salespersons do is this: follow up. We tend not to follow up, and that's the seventh one, right? What
Okay, I think Mr. Agoke's network.
To everyone that you know so that they can be part of this, because they promises to be very exciting. So this promises to be so rewarding, because part of what we are going to be doing today is this. Truth is this: every one of us have a story. What is your story as regards startup? And today, I have no any other person to do justice to that than Mr. Enoch Owolabi is going to be telling us his own story of startup. Truth be told, every one of us on this call today, we have our story to our startup. And our panel section as well too promises to be so exciting, right? Because we're going to be having in our panel section, we're going to be having the likes of Mr. Izu, Dr. Temi, and Mrs. Oludare, and it promises to be so exciting. So if you got value for the last 2 days, I want you to put on the chat board value. I want you to put on the chat board because I want us to get to, we are still very few right now. We are still about 36. I want us to get to about 100 before we start today's section, because truth be told, the moment we get started, it's going to be a moving train, and we can't stop when we get started already. And again, some of the things that I also learned from Dr. Cosmos Maduka is in the area of belief. See, truth is this: every one of us can always have the belief, that, okay, you want to be this, you want to be that, but do you have that desire, right? Because at our devotion this morning in the office, I was going through the video again, and I was immensely touched that it is not just enough for you to just believe that you will be succeed, that you should be more than that, that you should not be you should not be afraid of falling. You should not be afraid of falling. It is what you actually do while you fall that is also important. And he also talked about you creating a canvas of where you want to be. Create what you want to be, create the canvas of where you want to be, and have a clear goal, right? Have a clear goal. And I can go on and on and on and on. It is quite, so interesting, all what we learned from Dr. Cosmos Maduka. And again, he also talked about that, as in, for you to succeed in life, you should be ready to be laughed at. Wow. Let me repeat again. He said, for you to be successful in life, you should be, you should be ready to be laughed at. And we all understand the education background of Dr. Cosmos Maduka, a whole lot of people laughed at him, perhaps maybe before the way he put his tenses together and all of that. He said you should be ready to be laughed at. But today, he's a champion, right? So you don't want to look at the fact that, oh, what are people saying and all of that. He said the best feature of an entrepreneur is the ability to be able to manage resources. Is the ability to be able to manage resources. So oftentimes, I mean, you find out that you want to model your life because of the way people are saying or are laughing at you or something. He said, no, you should be able to like manage resources. You don't want to live your life based on what people are saying, right? You should don't want to live your life based on what people are saying. And for someone like Dr. Cosmos Maduka, we saw the way he was able to manage 200 naira. So we saw the way he was able to manage 200 naira, and today he's a billionaire, right? And not just that, he's a mentor to several other leaders as well too. So guys, what I want you guys to do right now is this: share this to every person on your contact. I mean, we are just 46 on the call. 2 days back, we're about 200 and something, right? So guys, wake up, wake up and collect something, right? I want to wake up, share this link to everyone on your contact, because I know the time Mr. Olabi Enoch eventually gets to started. I mean, you don't want to miss any aspect of this presentation. And the last part I'm going to be talking about before I call on the next speaker, because Mr. Enoch Olabi is very much fire ready to, give his presentation on when it comes to starting up, right? Truth be told, every one of us, we have our story of start up. Now, before I go to that aspect, I'm going to take the last aspect that Dr. Cosmo said, success could be gotten through desire and not just wish. Every one of us wish to be this, we wish to be that, but are you ready to put in the fight? Are you ready to put in the work? So I'm going to be rounding up on that aspect of from Dr. Cosmos Maduka in that aspect of saying success could be gotten through desire and not wish. Everyone wish to be and not necessarily, are not ready to put in the work. So the question is this: are you ready to put in the work? Are you ready to put in the work? So guys, we are improving, we are at 54 right now. So share with everyone in your contact. I want to get it before we get started. Mr. Olabi is ready to give us value. If you know you are ready to get value this afternoon, say value. I want to see value on the chat board. I want to see value on the chat board. If you are ready to get value this afternoon, put value on the chat board, and so that we can get started. So again, let me go over what our and the title is My Startup Story. Every one of us have our story. We're going to be hearing Mr. Olabi's part of the story of how he started up, right? And for the panel section is with the title, Getting Mentor and Partnership for Funders, right? And to handle that section with us is Mr. Izu, Dr. Temi, and Mrs. Oludare. Awesome, guys. So without taking much of our time, I know we are much more ready and much more excited to do this starting part of the presentation. Mr. Enoch Owolabi, please let's give some fire emoji as I call on board Mr. Enoch Owolabi. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good day, everyone. My name is Enoch Owolabi, and I'm the CEO of Verizon Property Limited. We are a real estate company, and I'm so glad to be here. I want to start by appreciating everyone that is present here currently, and I want to also appreciate Dr. Stephen Akintayo for this privilege that he has given to me to participate in this wonderful program. I'm so grateful for that. For all the other panelists that have been speaking for a while, I really, really appreciate them all. A lot of values have been gotten and a lot of information has been passed across so far. Uh, like I said before, we are into property development, and I will be sharing my story, how we started from way back. So the whole thing started from um, can be traced back to my mother soap factory. She used to own a soap factory back then when we were growing up. And I remember vividly that we, the children, are the one handling the marketing part of the business. So that has really given me that idea about what business takes and how running a business looks like. So going forward, I actually don't really wanted to be a business person. I don't even want to be a business. I don't want to have anything to do with a business at all. And eventually, I don't know, along the line, when things were tough for me and I was trying to figure out what is actual God's call for my life and the purpose for my life, I had to seek God's face to direct me to, in order for me to know what is next for my life. And that was what led to me discovering my path and my future, what I'm supposed to do, and how I am supposed to impart my word positively. And that's when I realized that I am going to be playing in the area of business. Though this doesn't really come easily like that, I had to undergo some thorough training. One of it is after my school back then, I had to put in for a training with a real estate company that is already doing well in this in Lagos State, and I was with the company for about 2 good years, learning thoroughly about what real estate is all about and the uh, how the whole sector is really work, how the industry works. So I was with the company for about 2 years, and I was learning through magazines, through books, through seminars, and I was always following the director of that company around. So most time I always listen to how he always deal with clients, how he always speak to clients, how he always close deals. And that was when I started picking up much more, okay, this is how this business run. Is it this same line of business I would like to go into? So the questions started coming in, and I have to, at a point in my life, I said, okay, I need to sit down thoroughly and analyze myself, my strength and my weakness to know if truly I will be playing in this industry. Eventually, I came across a book called Who Took My Money by Robert Kiyosaki. This book really, really enlightened me about the real estate sector. And that was when I knew that, okay, I'm a little bit equipped with knowledge to play around this industry. So after that, 2000 and that's 2020, the year 2020, I I had to leave the company to start my own. And I didn't just start like that. I had to try and test what I have already gotten from the company, if it actually work, if it will actually work for me or not. So it was during this period of testing of my own personal idea, how I can play in this industry of real estate. I realized that, okay, there's a path that I can follow and how I can contribute to the society. Then I think that was when I now reached out to my elder brother. So I told him about, okay, this real estate of a thing is what I want to do as a business, and I'm really ready to go into it, no matter the ups and downs that I'm going to be facing, the challenges there. So he encouraged me. He was the first person that encouraged me. He gave me the sum of 50,000 naira as at that time. That was the year 2020 to start up the business. So part of the money was used for CAC registration, and the other ones I put in for some marketing payments, like for adverts on Facebook. But things did not really go as I planned. You know, there's times that you might definitely be looking at, okay, this idea will work the way you think. Until when you start implementing, until when you start doing it, you will not see that, oh, there are some things that you are supposed to, there are some informations you are missing, there are some knowledge you are still yet to acquire. So when I was testing for good 1 year, it was a difficult moment for me. There was nothing, it seems like nothing was working. It was as good as for me to just back off and say I'm going to go to get a job. But because I have this passion for real estate business, and that passion was what was keeping me going, and I kept pushing, even though it was so tough. As at that moment, like there's a story that I always share, and because it's one of my toughest period of time. There was this client that reached out to me then, one of those periods. She wanted to check a property in Parkview, and then I was not mobile. It was a very rough moment for me. So I left home very, very early because she booked the appointment for like 7 a.m. I left home very early. I was staying on the mainland then. I left home very early, only for me to get to Obalende, and I was sitting under the bridge because this real estate business, you have to package yourself very well. Most time what I do is that once I get to the Obalende, I'll wait and I'll try to keep track of where their location is, so that from there I can now know where to meet them. And I won't just go there on my own. I will try to book ride from Obalende to the inspection site, so that at least I can look good and I can at least. So that was when the woman now told me, oh, as I just got to Obalende, she told me that, oh, sorry, I think I won't be able to come for this inspection again. I will be turning back because of there's traffic. I don't think we can do this. So please just let's postpone this to another time. At that moment, I have every right to just give up and say I'm not doing it again. But because it's as if nothing was working, it was so tough, and I wanted to cry at that moment, but I looked up and I looked at myself. I said, nobody asked me for this. I chose this path myself. So I'm not going to give up until I am succeeded in what I'm planning to achieve. So I went back home and I had to just think of a way out. And I realized that I analyzed myself that, okay, what have I been doing that has not made things to work? And that was when I realized that there are some habits that I'm supposed to work on. I'm supposed to replace some bad habits. Some of these bad habits is I'm very, very shy. I don't know how to communicate. I'm limited to like I always like to be confined in a very in an environment I don't want to associate with anybody. And I realized that, oh, if I want to be successful in this business, I need to network. I need to go out. I need to know how to pass information. I need to talk. I need to speak to people. And it was somehow tough because for me to start replacing these habits, I started listening to people, I started reading books, I started watching YouTube videos on how to improve myself. So from there, I changed some of my habits. And I also, because I always have this mentality that I don't want people to know what I'm doing. Let me just be doing my business codedly. So when I realized that I have to market myself very well first. That was when I now started posting on WhatsApp. I started posting and people was like, when did you start doing real estate? Is that what you are doing now? I said, yes. And that was how I was able to get my first clients through referral. People that have been checking my WhatsApp status. They now say, okay, I have a friend that needs this also apartment. Will you be able to source for the person? And before you know it, people started referring people to me, my friends, my family, they started referring clients to me. And because that was just because all the advert I was running before, it was not converting at all. It's as if I'm just wasting my effort. But it's only people that have known me before that have at least knows, okay, I know this person, this is my friend, this is my brother. They are the one that was able to push other people to me that, okay, somebody I know is doing this type of business. You can patronize him, you can make use of his service. And that was how I was able to close my first deal. From there, that gave me more confidence to push more further and harder. And along the line, I realized that, okay, it's time for me to expand and also upgrade. That was last year, 2023. But I have learned from my experience that I don't just start a business without proper mentorship. So from there, I realized that I needed to I needed to follow somebody that have done what I'm planning to do. Because this time around, there are some things that I can face when I was doing the management and the agency part of the business. But this time around, I'm trying to take it to another level. And I remember one of the quotes of Isaac Newton that says, if I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulder of giants. So wisdom demands that I locate the giants in the industry first. And that was what led to me meeting Dr. Stephen Akintayo last year. Meeting him has really, really changed everything for me. In fact, I can boastfully say that I regret that I've not even met him before now. Because how will you meet a man and you met a man just under 1 year and it's like a game changer for everything? It's changed everything totally. Things that we've been that personally I've been struggling to achieve, just by few advice from him, change everything. And forever I will be sharing that story. My first meeting with him was last year, November. And I told him, this is what I'm doing. I want to change I want to become a developer. That was what I told him. He looked at me and he said, so what happened to the first one you are doing? I said, sir, I'm pushing that one. Because the way I was desperate is as if I want to neglect what is working for what I'm just trying to try for the first time. And he said, see, this is how it works. Still be doing your agency and the management first, but don't, if you go gradually to the new phase of this business that you are trying to do. Because on my own, I was just thinking of, I just want to start, I want to start something else and forget about what I've been doing before. That piece of advice helped me, because when I needed capital to start this development of a team, I was down. I was like, who is going to help me? I remember reaching out to him and I told him that, sir, he asked me what do I need? I told him, I said, I need to build a sustainable business, and I want to learn how to raise fund, how to raise fund, how to raise fund for projects. So he told me that, I was actually, to be honest, I was thinking that maybe he would tell me, this, go and write a proposal to so company or a bank. But what he said was totally different from what I was expecting. He said, all this year that you have been doing agency, do you keep track record of your clients, people that you've done business with? I said, yes. He said, so this is your first investor will come from this. In fact, doctor is a prophet, because most of the things he said is something that just work. I don't even know. I don't know how it happens. So he said most of your investor is going to be coming from your clients, people that have done business with you. And he told me what to do. Thank God it was around December period. So I packaged some gifts. We started reaching out to some of these people. We started reaching out to some of them. Along the line, I took an hamper gift to one of them in VI. So I remember telling the man that, oh, this is what we are trying to do now, but we are lacking in this area. And the man told me that this area, don't worry about that. We are going to solve that problem for you. So if I have not listened to him, or if I have not reached out, there's no way under this planet Earth that I will be where I am today, because his advice, his mentorship has really, really changed everything totally for me. And today I can boastfully say that Perazim Property Limited grew from nothing to something today. We are sitting on assets that are worth over 300 million naira with just less than 1 year. By next year, by next month, August, we'll be celebrating our first year of incorporation as a development company. So that has making it a total of 4 years in business. But the first 3 years was just like, I can say that it's just play. I was just playing. But the moment I met Doctor, he makes me to understand so many things about networking. Like you can make millions by yourself on your own. That was one of the things he said. But it will be very, very difficult for you to make billions or become a billionaire without adding that piece of networking. And the moment I heard that, I started making sure, I started reaching out to people. I started marketing myself, and I started integrating every knowledge, every piece of knowledge gotten from him. And that's why I said, till tomorrow, I will forever be grateful to him, because I imagine how I can't even imagine how I would have been at this stage of my life currently without his help, without his mentorship. without his mentorship. And I really want to be, I want to appreciate him once again for what he has done in my life. I will forever be grateful, sir. Thank you, sir. So going forward, when it was time for us to uh, do our first development, we had a bit of challenges. Three of the investors back out all of a sudden. We never see that coming. That was like, that was enough for us to just back up and say, we are out of business. Just die minutes. And something in me told me that if Dr. Stephen can achieve his goal in US, what am I trying to do that is so big like that I cannot achieve? This is so small compared to what doctor is doing. That was just the mindset. That was what gave me that inspiration for me to say, okay, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to back off. I can find another way, because I have this mentality that there's always a way out. And trust me, God shows up and showed us a better way of achieving this. Today, we have property everywhere. In Lagos, we have in Epe, we have in Ibejuleki. We just secured another property in Yaba that will be doing about 6 floors of studio apartment and 1 bedroom apartment. This has really helped me, and this is just from some of the knowledge I've gotten from him. Because one of the things I got from him, I don't know, maybe I'm permitted to share this, but I'm going to say it because it's one of his one-on-one mentorship. Like, I had this kind of encounter through my one-on-one mentorship with him. So he told me about forming teams at different levels. I realized that I have to form a team for the construction, team to acquire the land. Like, these are kind of knowledge. Just imagine the kind of things I'm able to I've gotten from him, because these are just like the tip of informations, knowledge I've derived from him. So it is knowledge has really helped me to go this far under 1 year. Because as I said earlier, I met him last year. I think last year November is less than a year, and now growing a business from nothing to a business that worth over 300 million, to me is something. We are talking about our own personal assets as a company. So this has been my journey so far. 4 years ago we started, but today we are thanking God for where God has brought us, and I can imagine where we'll be in the next 5 years, because we have a giant ahead of us that we are trying to take that same step that he has taken in the past. So I'm so confident that in 5 years time, my company will be bigger than this. And if there's anyone out there that is looking out for growth, or that wants to venture into business, I will advise that, number one, you need to learn how to read biographies. You need to know how to research people that have gone farther than you. You need to learn from these people. And what you are learning from them is their mistakes, and how they have turned their mistake to success, how they have leveraged on mistakes and turn it into a successful company. So these are the kind of steps that you need to follow. You also need to change your habits. There are things, so many times we point finger at other people, not knowing that the remaining four is pointing back at us. We need to analyze ourselves first and learn from ourselves and know our strength and weakness. Because sometimes when we are looking at another direction, the force might be in the other direction. So you need to focus on yourself first by discover who you are, to know your gift, to know what you are good at. And that's one of the things you can do to help yourself. And finally, anybody that wants to do business or any area, or that wants to do anything in this life, see, to be honest, this is I'm a living proof of this, and that's why I can boastfully say it anytime, any day. If you don't want to waste most of your time doing trial and error, just seek mentorship first and foremost. You need to look at people that have gone ahead of you, learn from them. This will not only give you knowledge, but it will help you, it will save you from from where it will save you from wasting years. It will save you from making unnecessary mistake. And again, you can always run back to these people and learn from them and learn from them. And also, don't forget God in anything you are doing. You need to always seek God's face, because when I was having issues with, I don't even have any clarity about my direction, about what to do in my life, I had to ask God first. So even when I was facing so many challenges, I always go back to God, that God, I never wanted to do this. I've always wanted to be a medical doctor, but as God will have it, He said, this is what I have called you to do. And I was humble enough to take that. And today, I'm always thanking God for that decision, because if I never changed my decision then, by instead of going for a medical school and going into to business, I would have made a huge mistake today. And I believe so many people will be impacted through a business. I mean, through this company, they will benefit from it definitely. So if I've become a, if I've gone for this my idea of becoming a doctor today, I wonder how I'll be imparting my word today. So the the business aspect of my life didn't come from my wish. It was God's direction actually. And that's why anybody that wants to do anything, if there's anything you want to do, please always seek for God's direction first. And I will always want to advise people out there to always read books, learn from books. People don't, in this part of the world, people don't like to read books. There are books that I've read that have changed my life. When I wanted to know about land banking, I saw the man that is doing it better than anybody in this country, which is Dr. Stephen Akintayo. When I wanted to buy, we went for a seminar. We now saw the book. My friend was telling me that this book is too expensive. How will you buy this book for so amount of naira? I said, don't worry. Me, I need the information inside it. So don't worry, it's not expensive to me. I need it. So, and trust me, there are some mistakes I will have even made too, if not for the knowledge I got from that book about how to search land, how to know if this land is genuine, the necessary title you are supposed to look out for. So go back to books and read. There are informations in books that will help to improve and also help your decision making. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. If you want to on our chat board, let's put value, 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 value. Thank you very much, Mr. Wolabi. Look at my pen. I was practically jotting down a whole lot of points while you were talking. And truth be told, I mean, I've gotten a whole lot of value. And part of the thing that really inspired me more from your story was when you talk about the aspect of habit, changing some habits. And I'm very sure if you've not gotten the book written by Dr. Stephen Akintayo, which is The Millionaire Habit, you want to get that up, you want to try and place your hand on that book right now. Again, I know we have quite a number of questions that we want to ask. Let's go to the Q&A. Let us ask our question so that Mr. Wolabi will be able to answer some of these questions. And again, like I said earlier on, all of us have our story as up, right? We have our story. So again, I want to put our questions on the chat board while we ask Mr. Owolabi. And while I wait for our question to be asked, one of the question I want to ask Mr. Owolabi is this. Now, Mr. Owolabi, when you're talking about changing of habit, right? Changing of habit. And one of the things that you talked about that really like, okay, and the truth about it is as in everybody is shy. Almost everybody is shy. And that's the truth. I mean, quite a lot of salespersons are shy. So now, do you find it easy overcoming that problem of shyness? Do you find it easy overcoming that aspect of shyness?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So there's this saying that either your habits can make you or mar you. So you don't just change habits like that. You have to replace it with a new habit. That's how to go about it. So one of the things that helped me is that I make sure I go out, talk, sometimes alone in my room. I just meditate and I started seeing myself talking. So this thing called habits is so powerful. And learning from books, like I said, there are books that talks a lot about habits. One of it is Atomic Habits. You can't just say I want to remove this habit. You must replace it with a new habit. And it won't be that easy, because I think the least you can do is it will take you like 30 days, minimum of 30 days, to replace a old habit with a new one. So one thing is that identify the habits you don't like about yourself. Once you know that you don't like it, you will develop hatred for it, and you have that passion to change it. Then you look for a way to master your emotion, to use your emotion of okay, want your emotion to change it. So you have to replace the old habits with new one. And doing it is part of one of the things I did was I took actions. I reach out to people, I learn from book, and I watch a lot of videos. Some of the things you can do is take courses. There are courses online that you can use, because you can't just learn all these things at once. Gradually, something that will be unveiled gradually, and before you know it, you will have replaced the old with new one. But you can't just expect it to disappear like that. You have to replace it. It has to be You have to replace it with a new habit, with a new one. That's how it works, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wolabi. I'm very sure quite a number of us there have learned from your, story, especially when it comes to changing of habits, right? And you said one of the key things that you said is as in you need to replace a particular habit. You need to read books. You need to, you need to also go out as well too. And these are some of the things that have also helped you. The next question I'm going to be asking is actually asked by Brenda Chiejine. Brenda Chiejine asks that when it looked like you were not making progress, what kept you going, Mr. Wolani?
Okay, Mrs. Branda, thank you. Like I said earlier, I was convinced that okay, this is what I want. I was convinced that this is what I'm going to do. And irrespective of what happened along the line, I'm not going to give up. So there's something called passion. You must develop passion for what you want to do first. That's like a burning desire. Like you must have that burning desire that even though this thing is not working like this, even though it's not happening the way you want or the way you project it, there's something that must keep you going. There must be something that will keep firing you, that will keep pushing you. And that's where the desire for success comes in. You must have that ability to persist in what you are doing, no matter the ups and downs, no matter what comes your way. You must be able to persist till you succeed in what you are doing. So that passion, you need passion for everything. For you to succeed, you need passion, because if you don't have passion for anything, for that particular thing you are trying to do or you are trying to achieve, a little obstacle can make you to change your mind and say you are no longer doing. For me, I'm just trying to summarize all my challenges. There are so many things, people that have sidelined me during the time of my agency, where they will even swear on the name of God, don't worry, your client is safe. Then you go and do this one now. Don't worry, we'll handle it from here. The next thing, they've closed the deal. Where is my own commission? I can't find it. So, but that alone did not give me that okay, I'm going to give up. No, because I always have that bigger goal ahead of me, that I'm not going to settle for agency. I'm not going to settle as an agent forever. I have where I'm going. This industry is too big for me to now start fighting over how much. So these are the kind of things, because when you have passion for something, Nothing will discourage you, no matter what. Even those obstacles, you will see it as opportunity that you can leverage on to build up yourself. So ask anybody that have done something great in this life. They will always have their story of what they have done, I mean, or what they have faced, what all manners of challenges that they have encountered on their way up. So, but this, as far as you are not going to give up, as far as you have made up your mind that I'm not going to give up no matter what, you will always find a way out, because there is always a way. There is always a way.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olabi. And for me, part of what will just make us realize now is as in you need to be desirous. You need to be passionate. I mean, it's as a result of the passion to what you are that kept you ongoing. Absolutely amazing. And I have a question here from Bam G. Though it almost correlated to what I asked at the beginning of this section when I asked, and the Banji is asking, how did you overcome fear of meeting people and communicating effectively? I know you've answered some of it before. Perhaps Banji is just coming in. You might want to elaborate again. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. One of the things I did differently, like I said, you just need to understand who you are first. And there is always, I think some people believe that you can't, once you hear some people saying that that is who I am, I can't change, either you accept it or not. No, there's always a room for growth. You need to know how to discover who you are first. Once you know that, and you've discovered that this area, I'm not happy with this, I'm not okay with this, and I want to improve on what I want to improve on this. I need improvement on this particular thing. You need to seek how to do it better. So if you are having challenges about how to communicate, how to meet people, go for events. That's one of the way. From some events, I've been to some of the Dr. Steven events. The last one it was Mr. Barry that took that particular section, and he was talking about how to introduce yourself. And he was talking about, okay, after saying your name, then what makes you unique, things like that. See, knowledge fuel confidence. If you have knowledge about how to do something, you can stand and say anything, anytime, anywhere. But when you don't know what to say, or you don't have that knowledge of how to do it, you have that fear of will I be able to do it? But when you have the adequate knowledge of how to do it, there is no way you will not be able to do it right. So there are things that you can learn to improve yourself. There are courses online that you can take. I was shocked from the CEO retreat last year when they brought somebody that came to talk about how to speak, how to listening. How to listen. I said, is there another way of listening than the normal way of listening? And after that section, in fact, my notes was so full that I came back, I took another section out of that section with my own staff. So but by myself, there's no way I can do that. But when I was after getting those value from the speaker, I have the confidence of, okay, this thing we can do it, and that was one of the things that fueled me to ask, I want to train you, because I've already understood, okay, this is how to do it better. So you have to go for you need to learn from, you need to take courses online. There are good courses online that you can take, and you just need to, as you are taking those courses, try to practice. One of my mentors said something. He said there are 3 things that should make your life work. He said, knowledge, that is information; understanding, that is comprehension; and wisdom, that is action. You need to act. You need to know how to apply whatever you've learned so far. Because if you are just accumulating knowledge and you cannot act on them, or you are not implementing it, it's as good as a wasted effort. So you need to act on the knowledge you've gotten. You must know how to implement it. So after getting a course and you've learned all those things, go out, because all these courses will narrow the whole step for you. They will show you how to do it. One of the courses can tell you, okay, you need to go out, speak more to people. So it's still narrow back to knowledge. You need to be equipped with the right knowledge of how to do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Enoch Owolabi. We can't just get enough of this, your startup story. And I'm very sure quite a number of persons have been inspired today. The next question I'm going to be asking is asked from Omojola Oba Olamilekan. His question is this: how did you get funds to start buying your landed properties and started development? I know you've answered part of this question the other time, but we can go that route again.
Yeah, that is a good question. Like I said earlier, I never know how to. In fact, I was looking at maybe I will have to go and be knocking at doors, the bank that will come and borrow me money. I have this nice sweet offer. I have this nice idea. But doctor made me to understand. Number one, I think there's one of his program, I was in that program, and he told us, that was last year. He said, I think he said it recently too. He said, GTEx holding they don't use loan to run the business. I was shocked. As big as the whole, do you know what it means? They have GVest, like GTEx land, no loan. How come? I said, no, this is something strange. There must be something there. So, but trust me, when he first said that thing, I was curious to know, okay, how is he doing it if there's no loan? And one of the things he said about how he structured the company, one of the ways they raise their funds, and I was able to understand that. And during my own one-on-one mentorship with him, even when I still asked him that this is one of the challenges I was having then, he told me that most of the people I have done business with will definitely be my first investor. Because number one, you've done business with them, they know you. Like I said earlier, when I wanted to start it, then 2020, I had to show my elder brother, that okay, I can do this thing. I convinced him and I showed him that okay, look at this advert. One of the things I showed him advert, and I showed him how people were reaching out to me that, oh, I'm interested in this your property. That I said, don't worry, I have the knowledge on how to do it. So that was what led to him to give me that 50,000 naira to go and register. As at that time, this period of asking about how we were able to raise fund for this project or this landed property we are talking about. Let me just be honest with you. When you are starting a company, don't focus more on what's it called? On money, capital. The one of the panelists yesterday said something that idea is everything. It's not about capital first. Have you even understand the industry you are going? Do you understand your niche? Do you know what the problem you want to go and solve in that area? Because the man that I shared the story about him and me last year told me that, okay, go and give me a product that can convince me, even though he gave me his assurance that he's going to finance the project, all our project. He said, go and give me a product that can convince me to invest. And that was what led to me now start researching that, okay, in this area, what am I going to be doing differently? Where is my niche? So showing him, because I remember last year, December 31st, that was when I even pitched the whole idea to him and he bought into it. So you have people around you, but irrespective of the level you are, because you should just understand that there are certain levels you need to go first. You can't just climb. You want to go to about you want to do you are going to the sixth floor and you are already looking for how to get there without starting from the first floor. No, so you must understand process, that okay, this process first. My own case, I acquired the knowledge from somebody that is doing it. When I went to go and meet doctor, I did not go with the mentality that he would give me money to start my business. I only wanted to tap into what this man know. I want to know how is he doing it. So, and the advice alone is enough for me, because when he advised me that one of my previous clients will be my investor, and that's why I said that maybe I think doctor is a prophet, because he told me what to do to reach out to these people. All this while we've been doing business, I don't care about them. If they need me, they will reach out to me. But when he told me that, okay, package a gift, reach out to them. And it was around December period. We did that. And that was what convinced one of them. So you need to understand on how to scout for investors. So investors is not it's not through our own personal ability. We have to bring some people on board, part to own part of the business, and they have their own part of the their own shares too. And that was how we were able to do it. So they call it leverage. You leverage on your network, you leverage on your contacts, on people you know, and there are times that you need to go and pitch your ideas to potential investors, people that you know that can buy into your idea. That's how to raise money. For me, that's how I was able to do it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olabi, as usual. Again, for me, I love the way you've been able to address to this question. And perhaps, because we still have quite a number of time, guys, if you know you are getting value, I want to see on the chat board, value. If you want Mr. Olabi to continue for the next 20 minutes, I want to see our response on the chat board. Let me see you are getting value on the chat board. Again, from the way you answered that, Mr. Olabi, I know you were talking about the mentorship aspect. I know you talk more on that, right? So, help you to navigate through getting, I mean,
sorry, I didn't get that. The network is bad.
Benefit of those that are just joining, if you can still elaborate more on that aspect of mentorship from Dr. Stephen Akintayo, we round it up. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. So, like I said earlier, I started the business 2020, but nothing was working the way I wanted. But I realized that I need mentorship for the next phase of this business. So, when I know that I needed to seek knowledge, higher knowledge, that was what led to me reaching out to Doctor, and I signed up for his one-on-one mentorship, because that's like the highest level of mentorship you can get from him. So signing up for that gave me access directly to him, and from there I started asking questions. The questions of not just anyhow question, my own personal challenges, like, okay, these are the things I'm facing. These are things that I think might be a kind of obstacle to this new phase of business I'm trying to do. He doesn't need to talk much. One piece of advice from him is enough. Like, I know how to go and work on it. As at last week Saturday, couple of few of my team went to a hotel to go and learn how to sell from Doctor directly. That was last week. I'm talking about last week Saturday. We were there with him, and trust me, I used to think that I'm a good salesperson with the little I know. After the information, after the section, I went to go and meet him, and he asked me, "I hope you were able to get back." I said, "Sir, very soon I'm coming back to come and share my testimony, because you've opened my eyes to see something else, something different from the whole these jargons you see online there. Like, this is practical." I remember there was a practical section of that program. So this is practical. Now I know things that I was not even thinking about, because you understand, at every stage in your life, you need mentorship. And that's why I said mentorship, read biographies. You need to read about people that have done what you are trying to do. You need to read about them to learn from their mistakes, to learn from how they were able to transition from somebody that transition from what a level where things are not working for them to a level where things are now working for them. Because all these things take process. So if you are in the space of real estate business, I will advise personally, based on my own experience, because just imagine under less than 1 year, we are talking about having asset of over 300 million. It's not ordinary. It's not something that for the past 3 years that we've been doing business, I can't boast of that. We can only say that we are having little income coming in from our sales and all this. But this one changed the whole game. And this is the power of mentorship, because this one now, you have one-on-one mentorship, you have one-on-one contact with him. You can always reach out to him and tell him, this is what you are having, this is the challenges. This is our new project we are starting now. When he asked me what's the issue, I said, "Sir, sales, that's the issue." And the next thing he said, "Okay, gather your team, come and meet me at so place. We'll train you." Now we can see the difference. So that's how it works. You need mentorship for you to scale up in life, and it's always narrow your journey. It will makes you to move at a very higher pace. You will move faster than you can ever think. Thank you.
Oops. Thank you again, Mr. Olabi. We've gotten a lot of value, and truth be told, from your story, we cannot overemphasize on the essence of mentorship is very key. Mr. Barry, if you are there right now, I want to know if we want to go to the panel section, or we still have about 10 or 15 minutes to go. Mr. Barry.
Yeah, we still have about 17 minutes or 18 minutes before we go into the panel session. So do we still have any questions for Mr. Olabi? We can encourage a few more questions from Mr. Olabi.
Okay, Mr. Barry, if I can hear you very well, maybe you can send me a chat on chatbot. The network is very bad. I could barely hear you. If I can't hear you very well, we still have like 15 minutes to go, right? Before we get to the panel section. Awesome,
Yes.
awesome, fantastic. So guys, if I get value for this, I want to share on the chatbot right now. Very sure we've been quite inspired by the story of Miss Olabi. For me, I love that aspect of you talked about replacing a particular habit with another habit that can help you out. I've learned so much when it comes to issue of mentorship, that you actually need mentor. I mean, it's quite impressive on my own aspect. Then again, even the aspect of you talking about the burning desire, man, guys, I don't know if you have that burning desire right now for you to be so passionate at what you are doing, right? While I'm waiting to read any other, if you have any other question right now, go to the Q&A, input your question there so that we can ask Mr. Owolabi Enoch on how he has been able to do it, right? So if you have any question, go to the chat board or go to the Q&A section. There. Question, right? Can you please elaborate more on that when it comes to seeking divine direction? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. My own came through the period of time that I don't even know what to do at that phase, because what actually happened what happened then was I was trying to go to school as at that time. So imagine doing about 7 O level, trying to just get into university. Things were not really working for me. It was so tough. And trust me, I just have this whole idea that, okay, let me just go to school and start earning salary and let me just be okay. I've never wanted to be in the area of business at all. So because things were not working, I had to do what I know best, which is seeking God's face. So I went into thorough search by praying and fasting. And I wanted to know, okay, what is my calling? What am I called to do? And I want to know more about myself, my purpose in life. Then I realized that, okay, I have this calling, and it was backed by scripture as at that time, because Holy Spirit spoke to me directly that this is my calling and this is how I'm going to do it. So what happened was that I made up my mind to seek God's face, and I have to seclude myself in area that I can at least communicate to God via prayer and asking questions. And I was also reading my Bible, because God can direct you through his word and you can hear directly if you are a Christian. So I had to just pray, fast, and read my Bible. So at a point as at that time, I got clarity about what I'm supposed to do. And one of the things that backed it up again was this book by Robert Kiyosaki, Who Took My Money. I read the book during that period. And that was when I now got confirmation about the real estate. That book really, really helped me. There are some, during that phase of seeking direction, God, that's why they call it direction. God will direct you to know what to do. You need that ability to know what to do. You need to be able to find a way on how to do it. So God led me to knowing what to do as at that time and how to do it. So it was purely from God. That's just it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Owolabi, for the very wonderful story of your journey to success. And I think, not that I think, I know that you are still going higher and higher and higher and higher. Can you hear me?
Yes,
By
sir.
the next time I meet with you again, your business will be recording billions of naira in assets.
Amen.
Okay, so I'm happy that you are a young man, and then you are going to encourage young people on the call here to understand that there is nothing they cannot do if they set their hearts to do it. Okay, and from the lessons that you have given to us today, the goal is we must remain focused. This morning I was driving out of my house, and then a thought came to me. And what was the thought? It says, focus. Focus. Don't mind whether people are laughing at you, left or right, front or back. Just focus on where you're going. So in business, for you to grow in business, for you to succeed in business, it means that you must learn to stay focused. That's what I'm getting from Mr. Olabi's talk today. Stay focused despite the challenges. And the truth is that you will face challenges, you will face obstacles, you will face difficulties, you will face setback, but stay focused on the goal where you are going. That's a very wonderful one. So let's give it up for Mr. Enoch Olabi.
Thank you, sir.
Very much for this wonderful.
Thanks.
Beautiful. So, Mr. Goke, I believe.
Okay, I don't know. The network locked me out. Can we hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, our networks are so wonderful. They are so superb. And at the point they logged me out and I was struggling. Thank you, Mr. Barry, for covering up for me. There are quite a number of questions I want you to just take because on my time here, Mr. Olabi, don't worry, you still have close to like 12 more minutes to spend with us there. So let's give everything all out. Part of the question I want us to ask here is this, as in, okay, this one is from an anonymous attendee. He said, how can one get good mentor, not in this sphere only, in other sphere too? Mr. Barry, I don't know if you want to answer that. Then, Mr. Barry, why you are trying to, take that question, there is also another one here that says, as in, okay, now, it's also from the anonymous attendee. He said, do please shed some light on how to register on one or sustain and eager to benefit from this personal guidance and expertise. Mr. Barry.
I think you need to repeat that. I can. The network.
We didn't get that. So please, can you restate that again?
Mr. Barry, did you get that?
No, we didn't get that. No, we didn't get that. Can you restate it again?
Network.
Your network was cracking at the time. Can you please restate it again? Can you get me?
Sorry, I need to be very sure you can hear me. Mr. Eno, can we hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
I want Mr. Barry, hear you very loud and clear.
It's
Okay,
breaking.
please go on, Mr. Goke.
Okay. So the question again is this, Mr. Barry. I think that this will be directed to you, right? The attendee asks, could you please shed some light on how to register mentoring Dr. Akintayo? I am eager to benefit from this personalized guidance and expertise. So, Mr. Barry, you want to give us mentorship? Over to you, Mr. Barry.
Oh, good. Thank you very much for that question. It's very simple and straightforward. For you to get one-on-one mentorship with Dr. Stephen Akintayo, we will send a link to the group chat now. Just click on that link and register immediately. Once you click on the link and register immediately, we will contact you and then you qualify to go into a mentorship session with Dr. Stephen Akintayo. So in 1 minute, you will see a link sent on the chat. Click on that link on the chat box and register. Okay, your name, your email, your phone number, and every other information that are in that chat. Click on it, fill them in, and submit. We'll contact you immediately after you have filled that information on the chat. Okay, so just hold on now. We are posting in the link on the chat. Okay, once it's there now, I will let you know that it's there. Are we clear on that?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Barry. So for the anonymous attendee that asked the question, stay tuned. A link will be pasted on the chat board whereby you can register, right? And we can take it up from there. So there is another question from Brenda Chejine. Chejine is actually getting a lot of value, right? And this question is also to you, Mr. Wolabi, and I will also help Chejine after your own answer anyway. So the question is this. So if I want to go into real estate as a newbie, what are the 5 steps that is must to take?
Sorry, can you take that again?
Okay, this question is from Chejine, Brenda. She's asking, as a newbie in real estate, what are the 5 steps that she needs to take?
5 steps?
Yes, the step that she needs to take as a newbie in a real estate sector.
Okay. I believe to every skill you need to learn first. So apart from mentorship, you need to go and find somebody doing something in that area and learn. Real estate is a big industry. There are many areas where you can play around real estate. You can play around the land banking, so many part of it. You can just be flipping property, but you need to learn from somebody doing it first. Like you must identify the ones you want to do first. And once you identify that, okay, this is what I want to do, and you have interest for it, then look for somebody doing it and learn from the person, because you need knowledge. You need to know how to do it. You need to know how to reach out to your audience, how to bring all these ideas together and make it successful. So you must learn. And one more thing again is, if you want to start fresh, like maybe you don't have any knowledge, one of the things you can do is to take courses online. There are online courses. Dr. Stephen have a online university that you can sign up for. They have lots and lots of information that you can derive from there. You can get a lot of values. So that will also narrow, because it's going to be more practical step that, okay, this is how to do it. And one other thing that you can do again is, after learning everything, try to start small. Start at whatever stage you find yourself with what you have. Because there's this saying that God did not give Adam a table, but he hides it inside a tree. So if you are trying to build a table, it takes a creative mind to know that, okay, I can turn this tree to a table. I can turn this tree. I can make a table out of this tree. So you must be able to know how to manage resources very well and knows that, okay, these are my strength and my weakness. Knows about the resources that you have that you can start with. I don't know, maybe that answers our questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olabi. And also an addition to what you actually answered to Brenda. Brenda, I'm also sure that the advice that doctor will give you is to learn rope. And how do you learn the rope? You perhaps a broker with a very established real estate firm, right? And I mean, you by becoming a brokerage with any real estate firm, they practically take you through the rope. You take you through the learning of sales, which is one of the main and important aspect of real estate. And in GTEX Holding, currently, we have what we call the GTEX and Associate is also an avenue for every newbie that want to venture into real estate for the very first time, because at GTEX and Associate, you are practically taken by hand. You are given the necessary education. You are given the necessary technical know-how on how to sell and everything that you need to know about real estate. So, Brenda, if you're listening to me once again, you want to look out for an established real estate firm that give avenue, that give space for realtor that want to start learning to get into the real estate space by becoming a broker, right? You are practically thinking through, the step of learning. And GTEX and Holding already have something like that we call the GTEX and Associate, whereby you come in to come and start learning, and also have given the avenue to also sell some of our properties and also earn fantastic commission as well too. So if you are listening, again, you might want to go to www.gtexandassociate.com, right? Then you can get every other information that you want to get to know from that. So, Mr. Barry, I don't know if you have any other thing to add to that before we move to the next aspect. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Okay, before we go to the next aspect, we have dropped the link to join if you want to register for Dr. Stephen Pintayo's one-on-one mentorship.
So, Mr. Barry, are you through with what you're saying? We have just 2 more minutes to round up with this. So, as we round up, Mr. Okay, so Mr. Olabi, on the final note, we've gotten a whole lot of value from your second afternoon. I know right now. When we move on to the panelist section, I want you to give us this your partnership.
Sorry.
If you have the opportunity to start again. Okay. Mr. Olabi, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay, awesome. So if you have the opportunity to start again, right? If you have the opportunity to start again, what is it? What are those first steps that you would have loved to take that you didn't take when you got started? Thank you.
Okay, if I'm privileged to start all over again, the first thing is mentorship. To me, is everything, because it has I have paid for the time I was not being mentored, because I always believe that I can do it myself. I don't need anybody. So I paid for those periods. It's wasted my time. I was not getting any value. I was not getting any results. It's just wasting my resource, my effort and everything. But mentorship have speed up my process and journey. So if there's anything I'm going to do differently now, it's going to be first mentorship. I will try to locate a mentor first and humble myself to learn from this person, to learn. And I will also read more biographies. about people in that industry or in that area. I will learn more from them. These are the things I'm going to do differently.
Thank you very much, Mr. Enoch Olabi. It's been absolutely amazing section with you. Guys, if you've gotten value, I want us to put up the fire emoji on our chat board right now. Let us appreciate Mr. Enoch Olabi for the section. Mr. Enoch Olabi, it's been absolutely amazing having this time with you. It's been awesome. It's been educative. It's been learning process for every one of us on this platform. Now we're going to be going to the panelist section right now, and I'm very sure Mauga, Mr. Izu Wauma is ready to give us a whole lot of value. This is another person that you don't want to miss his section with us right now, Mr. Izu. You've been amazing thus far, and I can't say less. I wish, for lack of word, I wish I have other ways to like express how phenomenal you are. You've been amazing. Mr. Izu is on standby. Please, if you want to hear from Mr. Izu, I want you to guys to give the power emoji. Mr. Izu is on the standby, and I also have currently on the standby right now is also Mrs. Oludare. Mrs. Oludare is also on the standby right now. It's been absolutely amazing thus far. And on the panelists and on the panel section, some of the things that are going to move around mentorship. So, Mr. Barry, I want to be very sure Mrs. Oludare is also on the section too right now as we get started.
Yes, she's here. She's also on the session. I can see her name here, Mrs. Oludare.
Okay.
Just to mention, for those of you who want to register with Dr. Stephen, one-on-one mentorship, we have already posted the link on the chat box. So please go there now and click on the link right away to register, okay? So that we can follow up with you immediately after this program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Barry. It's absolutely amazing having this section with you. Thank you very much for all you've been doing. And just to add to what Mr. Barry have rightly said, there are some of us that want to get the one-on-one mentorship with Dr. Stephen Akintayo. The link is right there. You want to click on it and you want to get started. And for those of us that also want to, that are coming into the real estate space for the very first time, the newbie, especially Brenda Chejine that you were asking on how you can get started, I'm also going to post the link on how you can also become an associate and start your real estate journey with GTES and associate. I'm going to place the link on the chat board while the section is on. So once again, I want to welcome every one of us on the panel. Mr. Izu, you are powerfully welcome. Mrs. Oludare, you're also welcome. I can see Mr. Izu with a smile already. He's ready to blow us all away. Mrs. Oludare, you guys are absolutely amazing. I'm so honored to have us on this panel this afternoon, and it's been absolutely amazing. So before we go ahead to the panel section, let us just have 1 minute about ourselves. First, Mr. Izu, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Mic check 1, 2. You guys can hear me pretty well, right?
Yeah, we can hear you very well, Mr. Izu. I can hear you.
On a lighter note, okay, in case what you're doing doesn't work, you should try being a hype man. I'm telling you, make a lot of money. The way you were hyping me, I was looking at who are you talking about? But yeah, it's good to have.
But guys, you know it's the truth anyway. It's not about.
I will hire you if I need a hype man. If I need a hype man, be sure that I would recommend it.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Okay. So, Mrs. Oludare, you want to try and check your mic is up before we get started. Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me loud and clear?
Absolutely amazing. The voice is coming out very well. We can hear you very well.
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon. So like I said, we are on the panel section right now. We still have like two more persons that will be joining us. We have Temi Ajibewa that will also be joining us. We have okay, just one more person that will be joining us. And like I said, basically what we're going to be talking more this afternoon around mentorship and all the the likes like that. Oh, okay. I think I'm having a change in my questions here right now. Thank you very much, Joshua, for sending this to me. So this afternoon on the panel, we're going to be discussing more about finance and funding. Finance and funding is one of the major things we're going to be talking about today, right? So my first question goes to Mr. Izu, right? And he says, how do you identify the right mentor for your specific industry or business? Mr. Izu.
Okay, even though you skipped the intro, you want us to do a 1 minute intro of ourselves. I think you skipped that.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the hype man. So that's not valid, right? Just go straight into the question. That's it. So we don't introduce ourselves, right? Background or anything. No.
No, you can go about the intro, 1 minute, then we can go.
Just for the background, because the reality of hanging around GTEC for a very long time is we start to assume that everyone is family. I just checked and I realized that there's 100 people. Yeah, maybe 90% of them might not have heard of us. So I think we'll just be very respectful to start by introducing ourselves. So once again, my name is Izu. I'm a business and management consultant. My core is in corporate restructuring and startup consulting. Spent about 14 years doing this. I'm currently doing my PhD. First degree is mathematics. I have a PMP and 3 master's degree. I'm very passionate about growth, right? So I just wanted to give that background before we start. The question is, what would you look for when you're looking for a mentor? Is that it? Okay. Looking for a mentor or a partner, which of them?
Both of them, mentor and partnership.
I think in reality, it'll be 2 different things actually. Because something you're looking for in a mentor can be the same thing. That won't be the same criteria you look for in a partner. For example, the partner is more like someone who complements you, right? So let me even look at the in terms of a partner. What would you look for in a partner, right? And I like to let people understand why partnership is important. Your first 1 million will come from hard work. Your first 10 million will come from smart work, but your first 100 million naira will come from strategic partnership. To put this in context, there are 3 sets of people in Nigeria. People that earn less than 1 million naira. We call them the CC category. People that earn less than 1 million naira. It might interest you to know that over 98% of Nigerians fall into this category. That means majority by a large margin. 98% of Nigerians don't earn up to 1 million naira a month. Those guys happen to be the ones that are actually the most hardworking. They think hard work is how you become successful. There's not category B, people that make between 1 million to 10 million naira. Some of us in this room belong to that category. Every month they make 1 million to. So if you look at now, July has ended. If you didn't make up to 10 million naira this in your revenue, right? That means you're in category B. And then category A, which is the journey, is people who make above 10 million. So what I'm having this conversation is just so people don't think that it's optional to have a partner, except you want to remain in category C, because category C gets hard work. Category B thinks smart work. Or category A, the guys that own the world, literally, that control the rest of other people, are guys that think partnerships. So that's why that's important. I want to say that. Now, what would you look for in a partner? First thing first, I've narrowed them into 3 C's.
Sorry to cut you, Mr. Izu. I'm absolutely very sorry. I think it's a mix-up on my part. You are absolutely spot on the mentorship and the partnership. So the first one we are talking about is the mentorship. Then we'll take the partnership later on. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I was about to talk about the partnership, what you look for in a partner. So since you're not talking about partner, right, and you're talking about mentorship, there are 2 different things, absolutely 2 different things, right? So first thing first, what are you looking for in someone who's going to be your mentor? Track record, right? Track record, right? Someone who has a track record to where you're going to. To put it in lame terms, someone whose past is your future. Someone whose past is your future, right? So let me give a good example. I want to be a politician. I want to be a governor. right? Right? I want to be a local government. Let's even start from the bottom. Maybe a local government chairman. I'll be looking for somebody who has been a local government chairman before, right? So track record, right? Right? Hovering around maybe 1 million naira a month, and I want to move from making 1 million to 10 million. My mentor would be someone who already has made 10 million naira, right? It's how you build mentorship, someone who has sat there before. And I'll give a very practical example of this. When Burna Boy became the first real Nigerian, when I say real Nigerian, people think Burna Boy was the first Nigerian to win a Grammy. No, he wasn't the first Nigerian to win a Grammy. He's actually the first Nigerian born and Nigerian raised to win a Grammy. Shade Adun has won Grammy, Seal has won Grammy. When they sat with him after he won the Grammy, I said, how did you win your Grammy? The first thing he said was that his mom put him in the same room with Angelina Kidjo. Anybody that knows Angelique Kidjo, right, is probably the most decorated African artist alive, right? And she had won Grammy before. She had told him the kind of music that is a Grammy material. Not every song. Grammy is not won by being popular. That's why it's sad when you see a very popular artist that hasn't won a Grammy. One of the most under Grammyed artists in the world will be people like R. Kelly. R. Kelly is probably one of the most popular artists, but won the least Grammy even before his drama. So you have to find somebody who has. So that's the first one, track record. Someone who's been there before, right? Second thing is scars. Yes, I said it's scars. Someone who has made mistakes. All these shiny suit type mentors who tell you all the good things, right? It's not the kind of person that there isn't a lot you can learn from people's success, honestly. There's a lot you can actually learn from people's failure. So you want to see people who have scars. Like, don't follow a general who has not been to war, who does not have bullet wounds, right? So you have to find someone who has scars, right? Oh, you know what? I failed before, and this is why I failed. I've made these mistakes in my life, and this is what happened, right? It's important to be able to have that. So first one, in my opinion, is track record. Second one is scars. And third one is access. Someone who you actually have access to. So a lot of people think that mentorship is the same thing as role model. No, they're not the same thing, right? Celebrity cannot be your mentor except you have access to that celebrity. So you want to be an artist, you cannot say that your mentor, right, as an artist is Wizkid, except if you have access to Wizkid, because mentorship is a contact sport. You must be able to have access to the person. So I see a lot of people think they are idols. Their idols are their mentors. I know a lot of people that have their screen, they're entrepreneurs. You go to their house, they have a big poster of Tony Lumelu, and they say, that's my mentor. You're using that word wrongly. If you don't have access, if you cannot call Tony and Tony recalls you back, he's probably not your mentor, he's just your idol, right? So I think those are three things in my own opinion. Track record, two, scars, and three, access.
Thank you very much, Mr. Izu. You know, while you were saying all of these, I was just trying to recount back our last, my last training here when we were talking about the Muri Muda, but we'll talk about that much more later. So Mrs. Oludari, Izu have made known to us some of these features that we need to consider when you are considering a mentor. One of them is track record, one of them is scars, and the other one is access. Would you want to add any other thing to what Izu have said? Thank you, ma'am.
So, yeah, thank you. So basically, I agree with Mr. Izu on the first two. We're totally on the same page when it comes to that. But for the last one where he said access is key, the truth is there's so many people you might never get access to, but you can learn from them. I would say my third main point would be people that you can learn from, that you can climb and leverage on what they've done. Because some people you might never be able to get access to them, but they have things they've written, works they've put out there that you can learn from. They put seminars out there that you can learn from. You might never be able to get a one-on-one access, but there will be so many things that you can learn from them that you can still use as a bridge to get to where you're going. Because basically, a mentor is meant to get you to where you're going. A mentor is somebody that has gone before you and has gotten to that place that you believe, oh, this is where I believe I can get to. This is what I see. A mentor shows you your possibilities, that this is possible for me. I can be this person too. So having access or not having access shouldn't be a limiting point for you. Like I noticed that one of the people that I worked with Dr. Stephen recently, and I noticed that one of the people he had on his board is one of the men who built America. Now, I believe that's one of the people that has mentored his vision, because he has seen, oh, if somebody could come from nowhere and become this, then it's a possibility for me. So mentoring is, for me, is deeper than having access. It's being able to learn and ride on a person's achievements, a person's, am I loud and clear?
Absolutely.
Seems
Yes.
like Mr. Izu is straining.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We can hear
Okay.
you.
I thought you were straining to hear me.
Oh.
So for me, I believe mentorship is learning from and climbing on an achiever's back, being able to climb on somebody else's achievements. Knowing, even though you don't have access, learning from the things they put out there, the contents you can find about them, you can learn from them through that too. I think that's all I would like to add from what he has said.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Oludari. I'm very sure Mr. Izu still wants to elaborate more on that aspect of access, because, I mean, fine, you agree with Mr. Izu when it comes to the, track record and the scarce aspect of it. I'm very sure, and there are some unique aspects that you also talked about, as in, it is not everybody you can have access to, and that's the truth. And I'm very sure, I don't know if Mr. Izu have one or two things to just highlight on that aspect so that we can move on to the next. Thank you very much.
So fantastic stuff. Well done. Right. I think context is important, right? I don't want to be technical,
Okay.
but there are words that are synonyms, but not exactly synonyms. We interchange them, right? So the concern is not that you must have access from. So mentorship is like coaching. Like, an example, some people come to me and say, "Oh, are you a coach?" I said, "No, I'm not a business coach. I'm a management consultant." It looks like it should be. What's the difference, right? But there are two different things, right? It's like somebody says to you a truck, right? And somebody says to you somebody says to you an SUV, and somebody says to you a truck. And say, they're all cars. You say, no, they're not all cars. There's a clear-cut difference between both of them. So for you to grow, you need like 4 sets of people. You actually need a mentor, you need a role model, but they're not playing the same role. It's like how you can have so many daddies, but only one parent. I don't know if everybody gets it, right? You can have 5 daddies. Some people have 5 father figures in their life, but you can only have one parent, right? So this is the conversation. So it's a bit technical. I understand the perspective of you can learn from people you have access to. That does not make them your mentors. That makes them your role models, right? That they make themselves role models or even idols. Because here's the reason why. If you look at real mentorship, mentorship is also somebody that has your back, that can gain, not just you gaining access to, a mentor even gives you access to other things. So let me make this very practical with real life issues, right? Rotimi Amechi in the beginning of his career, right, always knew that he intentionally wanted to go into government. All his life has been a, matter of fact, his NYSC, and this is not they say, right, that this is people like have some level of access to show you how intentional he is. In his NYSC, you can imagine how backward ago Rotimi Amechi did NYSC. His NYSC was done in government house in Rivers, right? Somebody has held him and opened doors for him beyond learning. You see, a lot of people you can learn from afar, but not everybody can open doors. So one of those guys was a guy called Ada George. Ada George was governor in Rivers State. Ada George actually passed the baton to Peter Odili, who passed the baton to Rotimi Amechi. In the table of inaugurations, you know, for you to get into anything, you have to do like primaries in election. Somebody took him there. That's what a mentor would do. Somebody from afar will not do that for you, right? Somebody can make a call. Another good example of this is Obama and President Clinton. Obama can say that he even learned from Martin Luther King. Does not make Martin Luther King Obama's mentor. Because for Obama to be nominated for Senate, right, a real mentor is a guy that will go to Democrats and stand for you, right? If you're stuck and you cannot pick up a phone and call the person, he's your role model. And that does not mean that the role model is competing with a mentor. There are 2 different roles. I just wanted to explain that context, right? So we need more role models in the absence of a mentor, right? But when you can so you must get a mentor and also get a role model so that we don't look too far above people, right? I know people who I look forward to. For example, I know people I can say, look, this guy is my role model. But if I don't have access to the person, he remains my role model. Because as you grow in this career path called growth, there are people who need to sponsor you. Everybody needs a sponsor. Everybody needs a sponsor. For some people to get into heaven, right? Somebody sponsored them to get into heaven. Now, I'll give a good example of this with a very funny commission. When Jesus was nailed to the cross, there were two guys who were nailed next to him. One of them was promised, if anybody remember that story, that he would make it, right? Because he associated himself with Jesus. So I would say that that guy was not going to get into heaven because of his own merit, right? But because of association, right? So I think that we should not make this a versus, right? We should have both in our lives, right? And when you get that access, and for people who are already mentors to people, know that you're not doing a good job as a mentor to somebody if all that you're giving the person is knowledge. Giving people access is actually part of mentorship. Let me give a good example of this. Dr. Stevens' board have people who have not only been there because they need to give him knowledge. If something happens, they can get on a call. I've seen GTEx have challenges where Mike Okiro shows up and puts a call across. Is that call across? And what I'm having, because I'm talking to myself too, and I'm like, are there people I'm mentoring who I'm not giving access, and I'm only giving them knowledge? Because if I'm giving them only knowledge, then I'm half delivering on what a mentor is. I don't know, Mike, if you put more context into that conversation. That's the actual term, right?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Izo. It's been absolutely amazing. You know, I knew that, I mean, there is still more to this aspect of the thing that I needed you to just show much clarity to it. And again, please, Mrs. Oludari, please pardon me. I will need you to introduce yourself again. I mean, I know Mr. Izo, and he has introduced himself. Virtually almost everybody here knows him. Please, Mrs. Oludari, before we continue with the other part of the panel, please, I need you to just give us a 1 or 2 minute introduction about yourself, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay. So, like you said, my name is Mrs. Oludari, Ibukunoluwa Oludari. An interior designer, a trained lawyer, called to the bar like how many years ago? So like 20 years ago. Well, found my passion in designing and started my journey in interior design 15 years ago. Started my business, but the journey for interior design started 17 years ago. Had a mentor that trained me for 2 years before I launched out on my own. So I know the importance of having a mentor in anything you do in life, because that was what gave me the confidence, the boldness to step out and say, I think when I started, I was about 27, but I was bold enough to say, I can do this because I had a platform to build from. So, and I would still like to talk on that, Mr. Izu. You see, for me, I believe you're just limiting mentoring. Mentoring is wider than the mentor that is your sponsor. There are different categories of mentoring. You have those that will coach you. You have those that will challenge you. You have those that would be your sponsors. That's the one where the access is important because they will pull your hand and take you to places. Those that will be your challengers, they might just have spoken 2 or 3 words into your life. And it doesn't mean that they haven't affected you. And then you have those who are the connection brokers. You understand? You have those who are the coach. Their job is just to coach you. And you know, with coaching, you can get that from books. You can get that from videos, audios, without meeting the person. So I don't want us to restrict it so people don't start thinking that, oh, if I don't have access, then I can't get mentoring from this person. You can actually get mentoring because some people would actually sit down and pour their lives into books. Like I know Mr. Kitaya has a lot of books that he has written. You might never have access to him, but if you read those books and spend your time reading them, I'm sure what you would gain from there, the leverage you can get would shock you. Just wanted to add that too.
Got you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Oludari. Thank you, and I really appreciate. And maybe on a personal note, my wife might have to reach out to you when it comes to interior, but that will be on the personal note later. Okay.
Not
Now
a
back
problem.
to the panel discussion that we're having. You see, truth is this: there are several startups today, right? And there are several platforms like LinkedIn and every other startup. So my question will go to you, Mrs. Oludare. How can a startup leverage on platform like LinkedIn or any other platform that you can reach out for a startup? Thank you.
Okay, so for a startup, so the beautiful thing for the people starting business in this generation, I'm super happy for you, because when we started, it was legwork. Internet was just picking up and you didn't have all this Instagram. You see a lot of people come. So not just on LinkedIn, I would say Instagram, depending on what you're selling, I would say Twitter. What exactly are you starting? What is your business on? Because different platforms support different types of businesses. Like if you're doing a product business, I wouldn't expect you to just be on LinkedIn. You might not get the people that you really want, that really needs you, or what product you have to offer on LinkedIn. Because your product has to be visual, so you probably will need Instagram for that, because it's more of a visual platform, or TikTok, or which other platform would be good for that, for things that people can easily see and be able to appreciate your product. But for maybe a professional service, maybe like legal, maybe like how would I put it? Things that are mostly service, consultations, then LinkedIn would be the platform for you to leverage on. But it's important for you to identify the specific platform that would help your industry and help you to grow fast.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Oludare. Maogalizu. So I want to ask you the same question. Any form of elaboration on what Mrs. Oludare have said before we move to the next aspect of the question?
So I agree 100%. As a matter of fact, 101 on understanding what you do and that being the factor, the main variable to which platform to leverage on, right? But in the context of LinkedIn, if you're singling out LinkedIn and making LinkedIn your focus, right? If you happen to be in the supposed disadvantage of not doing service business, right? Maybe you're doing product, for example, you are sewing clothes. So if you're sewing clothes, program will work better for you than anything. But if you're in that kind of business, like visual oriented businesses, like sewing clothes, baking, things that people want to see and say, wow, if you know what I mean, they visually want to see. If you happen to be in that category, what you can now do with LinkedIn, instead of trying to sell on LinkedIn, is to educate. You see, LinkedIn fundamentally is for thought leadership, right? And to let people know that you're growing in your career. It's not for selling, right, in itself. And I think that's where you might get it wrong. Even where LinkedIn algorithm is, if you post like you own a bakery and you post a nice cake on LinkedIn, you find that the algorithm will not give you the mileage, because that's not what LinkedIn originally wants you to do on it. That's not what LinkedIn wants you to do on it, right? And these algorithms are very, especially with AI now, they're very intelligent. So if you sell cakes, instead of you going on a LinkedIn to post your cake, do a maybe how to series. How to preserve cake after 1 week or something like that. If you are say a mechanic, right, and you sell, say, no, not even mechanic, a spare part seller. Once again, if you're on Gigi, you're on Instagram, you can post your machine that you're selling or the equipment and say, look, I have a Honda 2023 engine to sell. Now, what you do instead is, once again, steps, how to. You can say, 5 different ways to preserve your engine, even though you are selling engine. Then at the end, you now say, hi, my name is Izu, the #1 engine seller in Nigeria. But what attracted them there is how to preserve their engine, right? So it's thought leadership. The how-to series always works in LinkedIn. Another thing is bragging right. LinkedIn is a place where people brag a lot, right? LinkedIn is a place where somebody just changed job from being a house help, right, in one place to another. He's not going to say I became a house rep, a house help. He's going to find the professional name for that thing, right? Yes. And say, I just moved job. I am now the head in chief of maybe say domestic management. Okay, what's domestic management?
There
Okay,
is
is house boy work. Which one is domestic
domestic
management?
affairs.
Domestic affairs, you know. So it's a bragging place. Don't fight it.
Yeah.
Just go with the tide, right? Brag a lot. For example, you finish this session here. If you need to go on LinkedIn and say, hey guys, I just finished a founders conference, blah, blah, blah. You post the picture there. People now start saying, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. The way the algorithm works is that if you post something else, more people will now see it, right? So that's just assuming that it's on LinkedIn. So knowing your marketplace is important more than even knowing your product. This whole conversation is only valid for LinkedIn, right? And of course, brand association. One thing I've learned, especially people who don't have as much followers on LinkedIn, and on all the social media, I have the most followers on LinkedIn. I have about 12,000 on Instagram, but I have 20 something thousand, almost 30,000 on LinkedIn. And I tell you what the fact, it is harder if you have like 100 followers on LinkedIn to drive anything. So what I would suggest is follow senior executive first. Because when you want to introduce yourself to someone, how LinkedIn works is they'll see who you have in connections, right? So follow people who are high up there. And when you follow them, send them a message, right? So that they can become connections. And then from there, you can drive. Brand association is really key on LinkedIn. I just wanted to add, apart from that, 100% I agree. In addition, sorry, not a part of.
Thank you very much, Mr. Izu. Again, don't be arguing with me that I'm going to be overflogging. I'm going to be talking more on this aspect of mentorship, as I'm going to go back to mentorship again.
Hey, Mr. Goke, I think you're off.
They're off again.
Yes. Maybe I should just take on from here before he joins us again. I think it's talking about mentorship. This is Oludare. You want to share an experience with us, how mentorship helped to shape your career to where you are today?
Oh, definitely. Yes.
Thank you.
I would like to share. Okay. So let me share my life experience. Like Mr. Izo has said, somebody that would connect you have access to. For me to come into my business, my first mentor ever was actually my employer. She was my employer, but she mentored me. She wasn't just about seeing me. She never saw me as a staff, because when I joined her, we had something in common. She was a trained lawyer too and went into interior designing. So of course, when I went to meet her and I was like, oh, I would like to work with you, ma, because I want to learn on what it takes to be an interior designer. She was very open and very accommodating because there was that connecting factor. And like I said, there's for mentoring connection. The truth is, before somebody would be willing to take you up and say, I'm ready to work with you, there has to be that connect. For us, that was the connecting factor. And she was ready to say, oh, let's do this together. And to tell the truth, that has been the propeller for me. She was very open. And one of the things I learned as a mentee is learning to open up your hands. You know, I'm a Yoruba woman. There's this adage in Yoruba that says, "Omotoba shipa leyon ma ngbe." Meaning the child that opens up his arm to you and is receptive is the child that you will carry. As a mentee, you have to be very receptive. You have to be very open, because the truth is your mentor won't give more than what you expect from them. Is your readiness to learn, your openness, that would actually propel your mentor to do more. That would actually help you to the mentor to say, oh, do you know this? Do you know that? And bottom line for me, it was a good leverage. She was a good leverage, because the truth is, I had to the short course I did online, but that's what took my business up. That's how it started.
That's very awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us, Mrs. Oludare. I want to add the original former title, Esquire, to the name. Mrs. Oludare, Esquire.
Right?
Prof,
because we never lose it anyway.
So, okay. Thank you. My prof, Mr. Izu is a professor. In fact, his wealth of knowledge is amazing. Mr. Izu, I respect you a lot. And he's not just giving you theoretical knowledge like that. He's giving you practical, applicable, business sense knowledge. Mr. Izu, in fact, no, not Mr. Prof. He's a professor of knowledge. I will say that. I hail you, sir. Much respect. Okay, Professor Izu, let me use the word right phrase. I want to ask a question. Yeah. Before a business owner, we say he's looking for partnership. What level, is there a level his business must have grown up to before he goes out to look for partnerships?
Okay. Honestly, the earlier, the better, right? The earlier, the better. Ideally, right? When I say the earlier, the better, I'll say from day one. Now, that depends on what type of partner, right? So, first thing first, businesses that have co-founders have been proven to go farther than businesses that started as a self-employed. Funny enough, and if I knew what I know now, Xavier, I've been running Xavier for 14 years, and in all humility, we've done the best we can. If I was to go back 14 years ago, I'd have gotten a co-founder, right? Right?
Yes.
So as big as Dangote is, right? Dangote is the opposite of what I'm saying. From day one, is one-man army. Matter of fact, that one-man army is even established in the fact that the company is his own name. You understand what I mean, right? There's no co-founder in Dangote. It was him, Aliko, that started it. Now, that's an exemption. But even at that, I put it to you that if there were maybe 2 or 3 other people, it might have been bigger. The reason for that is that we all have, the way God has created us as humans, the way the universe is designed, there's something called the duality of existence. If you check the universe in its nature, a lot of things come in pairs and they're opposites. For example, black and white, yes. Good and evil, right? Night and day, yin and yang, right? Remember, yin yang is the fundamental of life. If somebody knows the yin yang, the Japanese methodology called yin yang, right? Never changing and ever changing, you know the sign. So if you're going by that, right, you find out that nobody's really fully formed. We have another half somewhere. But the best example of this is marriage, right? Is marriage, right? If we're complete, then why did we have to marry? God gave you, and what the Bible says is your other half, right? Most times the Bible even says, I don't know if it's the Bible, but in religion, I don't know whether it's written in the Bible, but in religion, we'd like to say it as your better half. That means the other best part of it is in someone else. So sometimes we should change ourselves, and I can be vulnerable to say I've shortchanged myself by going really fast alone, right? So by that fundamental, right, I would suggest that the earlier you start would be having a co-founder. Funny enough, you can even have more than 2. There's also another theory that is called the Trinity of startups. That if you check most startups, and there's a history around this, data fact, most startups start up with 3 people, 1 falls off along the way. There's so much example of it. You know how that plantation boys will be 3, later become 2. You know that song? Yeah. Suddenly, you know the song, right? You know the old face song, right? Yes. Right? As funny as it is, there's always 3, right? Right? Let me give a good example of this. When Apple started, there were 3 guys that started Apple. Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and some guy called Ronald Wayne. Ronald Wayne, in my own opinion, would be one of the biggest, let me use it for the street slang, one of the biggest idiots in recent time. This guy started an Apple. There was the 3 people. 2 years into Apple, 3 co-founders, he went back to tell them that he doesn't think it will work, that he wants to buy himself out. And they tried to convince him to stay. And he didn't. So they paid him his money. I think they paid him, was it like $6,000 or $7,000? And he walked away. He gave up, I don't remember what the percentage shares, or maybe like 25% of the shares for that 6,000. You see why I call him an idiot? Because today, that shares in today's money is worth over 700 billion US dollars. But we're not here to discuss people's mistakes, right? Because I imagine if it was my father, right, that walked away on Apple because it's too hard, right? And I still had that conversation with somebody today, right? So you see the Steve Jobs story, you see the Apple story. The same similar story is in Microsoft. There are 3 guys that started Microsoft: Bill Gates, Paul Allen, Paul Allen, and the current, not the current one. Does anybody remember the third one? If it's the third person, please, you can Google it. It's Steve Jobs. Bill Gates, Paul Allen, and can't remember the third. The three of them eventually became CEOs at different intervals. Right? So going by that, I would always suggest that you have two people. So that's how early you want to start. Now, this is in the founding capacity. Now, if you have started alone, the point where you need, because you can't go back to the past. You started. I can't go back to have a co-founder again. I can't. There's no way I can do it. Right? I can't go back to the past. Right? What you can now do when you know that there's time is when you keep losing business because of a shortcoming you have. Right? For example, I'll give you a good example. I do not have the patience and the empathy. Now, this is me being vulnerable. I believe this is what this commission is about, right? I do not have by my temperament. Mr. Barry, you spent years in EI, right? And you know temperament, right? If your temperament is your temperament, yes, lots you can't do. Like, for example, I'm choleric. So I can't be a nurse. For example, if I try, I can't be a nurse, right? I can't be a nurse. I don't have the temperament of a nurse. Right? I mean, natural born. I like to drive things. Right? Supporting role is not my strength. Now, there are times where I've lost deal because I'm not going to follow through on someone. If somebody overprices me, right? I'll say, you know what? Don't bother. Don't worry about it. I'll move on. But you know that's a weakness because in business there are people that your money is 10 million naira. They will start from pricing you 200K. Someone like me, like, okay, don't worry about it. Let's just move on. But in my head, I'm saying, which kind of play be this one? I'm not going to say it out. But if I had a co-founder who would follow bumper to bumper that guy that got 200K and sweet talking to that 200K becomes, I don't have that patience. So at that point, I know I need a co-founder, right? So let me give an example of Apple. Steve Jobs is not a techie guy. Steve Jobs is a marketer. He's the only guy in that three people that is a marketing guy. But he had a Steve Wozniak, who people don't know. I'm sure most of you have never heard of Steve Wozniak in the scheme of Apple. He's the only founder, Steve Wozniak. You see how, you don't know him. Is his strength. He's an underground guy that gets the technical work done. Steve Jobs, they talk. So he can sell anything. He can sell water to well. He can sell fire to hell. Literally, right? So, and that's what he used to sell Apple. But he cannot sit down to do the good product development. That's not his strength. But there's a co-founder whose strength is to don't care. Nobody knows Steve Wozniak, and he doesn't mind. So I don't know if that sort of makes sense. Once you know you're losing too much deal from something you don't have, right? You quickly get a co-founder for that thing.
Wow.
Right? Not a co-founder, sorry, a partner for that thing that complements that thing.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So it's more like a complementary relationship.
Yes, sorry. I'm sorry. Just in addition, right? I didn't like the fact that I used so many foreign examples. In Nigeria, you also have that. In GT Bank, there were 3 guys that started GT Bank.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Shegu Agbaje, Jimmy Agbaje's brother, Shegu Agbaje, Aderinoku of blessed memory, and Fola Adeola. Do you see that? Do you see that thing? Do you see that thing? Right? Do you see it? Right? Even the early days, right, of Access, there were 2. Herbert Wigwe and Ike Imokede.
Exactly.
Right? Owando had 3 people too. Right? There's a guy called Boyo, there's a guy called Wale Tunumbu. And at different intervals, the 3 of them became MDs. Right? So I just wanted to bring that home so we don't think that it's an American case study. Right? Even God said, God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. God, the Almighty God. Almighty God, there are 3. Only you want to be.
Thank you very much, Mr. Izu. I appreciate it. Before I hand over back to my colleague, Mr. Goke, I want to please ask Mrs. That mentor that you had, when you have helped you and shaped your career to where you are today. Do you mind mentioning who that mentor is to us?
Oh, her name is Sarah Daniel.
Oh, Sarah
SD
Daniel.
Interiors, Sarah Daniel, yes.
Okay, interesting. Thank you very much for that. Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Goke, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Barry. You see why it's always good to always have backup. Imagine there wasn't backup, and the next I've just messed everything up. Mr. Barry, I'm absolutely grateful for standing in. And I mean, from the conversation, we're already talking about partnership, if I'm right.
Yes.
We're already talking about partnership. Awesome.
Yes, we are. Yes, already.
Still on partnership, the question I would like to ask, I think this will, let me direct this to Mrs. Oludare. Now, what are the best practices for maintaining and nurturing business partnership? I'll take it in. What are the best practices for maintaining and nurturing business partnership? Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Any partnership to succeed, things have to be clearly defined from start before you even enter into it. You know, it's just like you said, in marriage, we are wired to have partners. Before you get in, what are your values? Do you see things the same way or going two different ways? Those are defined stuff. And then it has to be in black and white. Let's be clear. This is who we are. Your agreement has to be clear. Everybody has to be clear on this is my role in this partnership. That is your role in this partnership. The agreement is the first thing I would say is very important. You guys have understood that, okay, our values work together. We're going the same way. We're doing the same thing. The best practice of whatever I would say is let the agreements be clear. The terms and conditions that follow, that hold the partnership together must be clearly stated out in black and white. So there are no arguments after a while that, no, this is not what, that is not what. Everything should be written out clearly. Money terms, role terms, everything should be clearly defined. For me, I would say the most important thing for a partnership to succeed, the most important practice that you should have for a good partnership is your agreement. Your agreement must be clearly stated out.
Very much. I want to have one or two cents to it, but this question goes to you, Mr. Izo. You know, there's often these, let me use my local palace right now. They say if you want to know if family or friends unite, make money enter their midst. So the same thing in partnership. I know when it comes to money and all of that, there will always be conflict. There will always be disagreement. So, Mr. Izu, how can startup handle conflict or disagreement with partners?
Okay. I like the fact that it's equal to the response by Madam Oludare, because I agree 101%, right? Agreement. So, but if you unpack that agreement into clause, say point 1, agreement, point 2, point 3, that's bullet points. One of those bullet points should be dedicated to agreement on how conflict will be resolved, right? See, people forget that. So I'll give a very interesting illustration. Partnership is the closest metaphor to partnership is marriage, in my own opinion. So in this world now where everybody's divorcing, too much drama, driven by social media, comparison of oneself, if you find out the main reason why most marriages are breaking, same reason why businesses also break, and I'll tell you why. If you want to destroy two people who are in love and about to get married, right? Deprive them of their simple advice that says, as love the shakuna now. Hope so I don't find person where if una fight, go fit assemble now together. You'll be shocked that some people will say, God forbid, because all they're seeing is that love that's shacking them now. But that person is telling you from experience, telling you that this marriage is not love that's keeping it all, right? It's not because there are days you wake up like this, and you don't feel like loving the person, right? But if he ever gets really bad, do we both have somebody who can say, let's grab a car and go and meet? So that's what you call mediation, right? Or in law, I think it's called, there's a name for it, alternative dispute resolution. Yes, ADR, right? Alternative dispute resolution. You have to, in your agreement as partners, agree that if anything goes wrong, the following people can step in. And you can mention their names. right? I say, okay, we have a board. If anything goes wrong, let me assume, for example, me and Dr. Stephen Izawa started a company together, right? And we are so in love with ourselves. I mean, we vibe check works, we are match made in heaven. The same way your bubble is coming from your head when you're in love, I would say to Dr. Stephen, is there anybody me and you know that we both respect? Dr. Stephen says yes. We say, who is the person? Says Michael Kiro, for example, for my job. So let's write down his name. If at any point, maybe we make money and one person decides to be a human being, I like to think of it as being a human being, because being a human being means decides to be the negatives, right? Sometimes we are perfect, sometimes we are humans. That's how I like to think about it, right? So human is a fine way to say weakness. But one person gets greedy and we're arguing it. We now pause and say, let's go and meet Mike Okiro. Right? So that conflict, that thing changes the dynamics of a lot of things. A lot of things. In this Dangote refinery problem that's been trending last 1 week, I saw a behind-the-scene conversation. One Egmont guy is a former minister in this country. Now I was talking to him, senior guy, he's been a minister, he's been an ambassador. We're talking, I said something. He said, look, you see this crisis happening in Dangote? I said, yes. He said, I can bet you that if Herbert Wigwe was alive, it wouldn't have happened. I've never seen that perspective to it. He said that Herbert's role, I don't know if you saw when Herbert died, Dangote showed up almost every day in that Echo Hotel event. That's not something you just do for somebody you know. Dangote followed Herbert to his village to go and bury him. I hope you know, right? Dangote cried during the convention. And the guy was saying that the role that Herbert was playing was brokering deals and brokering resolution for conflicts. That there are people that can get two people in a room. And we all need a Herbert in our life. I don't know if I've sort of made my point, right? We all need a Herbert in our life. You need to find your own Herbert in your own life, right? And it's not just business, even in marriage, even in friendship, because human beings would show up. Somebody that can get people in the room. The greatest mistake of our generation is the Iraqi war. We've not recovered from the Iraqi war. It's the Iraqi war that fueled even the Gaza, Palestine, and all these things. The Iraqi war was unnecessary, billions, the Iraqi war. And that war was between, who's the Iraqi president again that they killed? What's his name now? Saddam Hussein, right? Saddam Hussein and George Bush. Few days to that battle, when they went to war, I read a statement and they said that if only Nelson Mandela had stepped in, true story, if only Nelson Mandela had stepped in, it was after the war, when they were now counting, right? The last of Saddam Hussein said that the reason why they went to war was that they couldn't find one person who could summon President Bush and Saddam Hussein. By the time they found that one person, they had already gone to war. And who was that one person? It was Mandela. In context, right? Saddam Hussein has said that the only person that can get him in a room was Nelson Mandela. In another context, George Bush had said the same thing. So conflict resolution has to happen before conflict happens. Sorry, conflict resolution agreement has to happen before conflict happens. The problem is that when it has happened, when you're not looking for somebody. I don't know if you understand it, right? So I think if you do that, right, especially money, and let me also state here that you can't tell who your true friend is until both of you have money. Let me say this again. You see, people say you can't tell your true friend till one person has money. That is a lie. But you can't tell your true friend if two of you don't have money. There are three scenarios. Two people don't have money, one has money, and two people have money. Let me tell you this advantage. If two people don't have money, you can't tell true friendship because they are misery accompanists. They're just company. Like, I don't have work. You don't have work. Everybody in our yard in street palace goes to work. Me and you will naturally be friends because we don't have any other place to go to. We play draft together. It doesn't make us friends. It's that we are both misery. Misery needs company, right? Let one person get a job. You now see whether he's going to still stay there and play draft. You see the problem? So two people don't have work. They will still sit down together and gossip about people that have money. And why they are wicked. A car passes and they say, oh, that G-Wagon, blood money. No, that guy is in Madu blood money. That's two misery people. If one person makes money, you hear the other one say stuff like, they still will not know their true friend because one will still be leeching on the other because he needs something. But respect two people that don't need each other. And that's really the real partnership. You see, partnership is not about independence. Partnership is about interdependence. And there are three levels. There's dependency, there's independency, and there's interdependency. You see, most of us want to be independent. And that's not the highest level. Interdependence is the highest level. And interdependence can only happen when two independent people come. I don't know if that makes sense.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Izu, Mrs. Oludare. It's been absolutely amazing. Guys, if you are getting value, let me see your on the chat board. Let me see value on the chat board. Now, what Mr. Izu, while you were talking, Mr. Barry just entered me. Okay, we have just 5 minutes to go. So, on the pattern shot, Ms. Oludare, on a pattern shot, I mean, while you round up on this, I just want you to just elaborate more on how a startup can maximize value and opportunity from their partners in 2 minutes. So I can go to Mr.
Sorry, I didn't get that
Izu.
clearly.
Thank you very much.
I didn't get your question clearly.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so on a pattern note, in 2 minutes or less, on a pattern note, can you just elaborate on how startup can maximize the value and opportunity from their partners?
Okay, so basically, would I say I have
I think we should give them 20 minutes more, Mr. Goke. Let's give them 20 minutes more so they are not rushing. By the way, good job, good panel session.
Thank you, sir.
Steven.
And if you are willing to be your partner, you've not made me your partner in all this.
Okay.
I still have quite a number of questions here. So since I've gotten the assurance and guarantee that we can go ahead,
that we can do more time.
All right, ma. Thank you, ma.
Yes. Okay. So I wanted to say that, I'm not sure I have the backing, like you said, there has to be the scars to show that I have the authority to talk about this. Because I would say when I started on my own, right? So to counsel someone that, okay, if you want to start, what are those things that I feel would be good? Hindsight now, would I have started with someone else? Oh, yes, definitely. I would definitely have wanted to start my business with a partner, understanding what are my weaknesses, what are those things that the support system for what your strengths are for you partnership. What are my strengths? What do I bring to the table? What do I need to convince myself? So don't bring another person to partner with you that's the same thing as you. I don't think you're going to achieve much. One of the first things is, what do I need to complement who I am? Who do I need? What other characteristics will this partner have that I do not have, that will bring to make sure that we're pushing this business forward in alignment? So that is very key. And like I said, the other thing is your agreement. Please spell out the terms. What are the roles? What roles do I have to serve in this business? What roles will my partners serve? What would be the money sharing proportion? Would it be a 60-40? Would it be a 40-60? You have to be clear about where you're going before you even start. But the most important thing is, what is this person complimenting me on in this partnership? Like you said about Steve Jobs and the other Steve man, Steve Jobs is the marketer. The other guy is the techie behind the scene. I have a family friend who does that to Edvest. There's Dare and there's Dimeji. Dimeji is the tech guy. Dare is the marketer. And the truth is, when you bring two complementing people together, you can go further. But when is I want to be everything, it won't work.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Oludare. You know, like I said, we can't have enough of the knowledge, understanding we're having on this platform. Now, Maogaizu, I would like to ask you this question. Now, can you share example of successful partnership and their impact? Successful partnership in Nigeria that you know of, or any particular case study that you want to share with us, Mr. Izu?
Okay, I think in the past I've shared some examples already, right? And I've mentioned brands, but I can still.
Okay, let me take the question again. If you didn't hear me, let me take it again. I said, can you share with us example of successful partnership that you know of in Nigeria, or any particular case study you might want to share with us, sir?
Okay, I would randomly, just how my brain works, think of, I'll just do random. So they're not related in any industry. I'll tell you the early 2000s, right? One of the biggest music partnerships Nigeria has ever seen is the Don Jazzy partnership. That partnership lasted for as well. Matter of fact, people forget that partnership paved the way for today's Afrobeat, right? It's Don Jazzy again, right? That's all Don Jazzy said in the Batch songs. When the Batch came out with the flutes, make I tell them the cocoa, make I tell them the cocoa. You see that partnership, history has not written enough about it. That partnership paved the way for today's modern day Afrobeat blow. That was the first time you had people perform in like stadiums, right? It was the band that started this, shut down Echo Hotel. And that partnership could have happened with only the band or with only Don Jazzy, right? It was that, so that partnership was a match made in heaven. That's one example. Another example, some of you bring out shoot to stone me, but I must still say it. You see 2015 partnership that unsat Goodluck Jonathan. That Tinubu Buhari partnership was a partnership. Let's forget what the outcome was, right? Let's forget the outcome. You see, in project management, we say everything will be judged by the goal. As long as the goal is delivered, it was good. The goal was to unseat a sitting president. Do you know what is unseat? See, Nigerian constitution makes your president one of the most powerful presidents in the world. Right? It's almost impossible to unseat a sitting president. I said the president, you need another Buhari and Tinubu. And that partnership was match made in heaven. One had, to some level, a good brand. At least before 2015, we all thought Buhari was the Messiah. Don't forget, we grew up hearing that during Buhari, Idiagmo days, things was good. You know, it was anti-corruption. Then that partnership now got somebody who did not have the same thing. So, I agree with you that the person has to have the same thing as you. Tinubu did not have the morality that Buhari had. The same way Buhari did not have the money that Tinubu had. You see, money met morality. Right? South met north. Right? And the real value for that was we got a new president. Now, whether the president did well or not is not the context of this conversation. Right? So I think I've given you two examples. I can go back to business and give you a lot more examples of that, right? I think the Paystack boys, right? Shola and the other guy, they did amazingly well, right? Paystack, the two founders of Paystack, right? Yeah, Paystack, right? Those guys did amazingly well. I'm not sure Nigerian tech space. And don't forget that those guys paved the way also for today's. There's the other names I'll mention, but we'll not know it. There is a brand called CC Hub in Nigeria. CC Hub paved the way for today's tech boom. If you're not too young, you know CC Hub. It was a hub in Yaba. Almost every big tech guy came from that small system. Matter of fact, the only people who remember that, there are three friends that started it. There was a guy called Femi. There's a guy called Femi. I can't remember the second person. And then the third one is Bosun. Alonge, yes, Femi Longe. Bosun Tijani is today's Minister of Technology. That was called. So at least remember Bosun, right? That thing paved the way for every other person. If you start to mention whether all the Sahara reporters, budgets, right, tech point, all those brands were all brands that shared tables in the platform they had, right? So I think I've given you enough case studies, and I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Izu. I mean, the one that really caught me was that partnership in the political sphere. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. So some of our attendees have a question, and this is from Sata Salam. Sata Salam is asking, can we replace the function of a partner with a dedicated and understanding staff? Like, instead of getting partnership with someone who understands the technical aspect of the product, hire them, help please address. So Mrs. Oludare, would you want to attend to this? So the question of Satan is, he said, can you replace the space of a partner with a dedicated and understanding staff?
So basically, Mr. Sata, right? I would say no, you can't. Because you see, what you have brought a partner to do is you're both burden bearers. Your staff can never be a burden bearer for you. Let's be clear on that. No matter how much they love your business, no matter how much they love everything you're doing, they can never be your burden bearer. They can never be a risk sharer with you. Because what partnership does for you is you have shared risk. You're not the only one that would bear all the risk or all the profit. Just like you're not the only one that will bear all the profit. Same thing with the risk. You're not the only one that will bear all the risk too. So I think you can't actually replace that. There is a place where the staff will get to and decide, oh, it's time for me to go on my own journey too. But you see, a partner knows that we're in this for the long run. So you guys have a vision that your goal, you have your set goals, and you're going to say, oh, we're going to achieve it, come what us. But with a staff can, let me use my example. I had a staff that was with me for 7 years, but by the time she got married, family came in, children came in. She was somebody I could really fall back on, but she couldn't give what I would need her to give. Now, I've been through that phase of having children, having this, having that, but it's my business. So whether there is children, whether my husband is calling, whether this is happening, my head is still there that, no, this thing has to work. But for her, as dependable as she was, a priority would always be a priority. Your partner would always take the business as priority over anything else, just like you will too. So you can't replace staff with a partner.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And that's actually spot on and true. So you can replace a partner with a staff. Just from your illustration and explanation, they bear the burden of the business together. And most staff wouldn't want to bear the burden of any organization together with the founder of that organization. Now, the question I want to ask right now, I'm going to be putting together Samantha's Jane's question together with an anonymous attendee, right? Now, the anonymous attendee is asking, can you expatiate more on agreement? How do one go on business agreement professionally, right? And I know in answering that question, you'll be able to answer question that Samantha Jane is asking. Samantha Jane is asking, in my experience, 3 people partnering together, 2 partners usually gang up against the other one. I feel this is to be avoided. What are your sincere thoughts on this? Ogaizu. Okay, of course, this is Oludari. This is Oludari.
Okay. So let me answer the agreement part. So for every agreement, it's simple. Honestly, it can be as simple as you guys coming together and clearly defining what you want to achieve. These are the roles that you will play. Just write it down. Simply write it down. Then if you want to take it to the legal part, get a lawyer to come and draft the terms for you. Clearly draft the terms. But without even a lawyer, you can clearly state all the terms and things that you want for your business. I want this. I want that. I want this. From your side, you tell your side. Your partner too tells his side of the story. This is what I want. These are my own expectations. Clearly state all your expectations. Clearly state where we're going. This is where we're going. Okay, how do we get there? This is your role. You will do this. You will do that. It can be as simple as that. But if you want to make it very legal and binding, get a lawyer to draft the agreement for you and clearly state all your points that you would want the lawyer to know. There's some things that will be called your blind spots that you might not even notice, but the lawyer that is coming in would have written a couple of agreements and will know that, oh, this thing might be a problem in future, and they will be able to point it out to you. So it's important for you to clearly just state those terms. Money, oh, this is how we're going to share it. Just be plain and very sincere with yourself. There's no need to be hiding and trying to dribble yourself. Be plain about what you want from the business.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mrs. Oludari. Mr. Izu, I'm sure you have one or two cents to add today before we move to the next question, sir.
Not exactly on that agreement one. No.
Okay.
I think the unanswered question is the gang up one, when 2 out of 3 people, right? So let me state here that as you grow in life, right, your view of what is right or wrong changes, right?
Yeah.
I like to say that as you go higher, it becomes a gradient. When you get to a point in life where you realize that there's no such thing as good person or bad person. What you have is good people doing bad things sometimes, right? Right. So here's what I'm driving at. There's a level you grow to where you understand the real nature of democracy, right? Where you give up. So because a lot of things that we're calling ganging up is democracy, right? See, when you have 3 people as founders and you need to make a decision, and 2 out of the 3 agree. In legal, it's called a quorum, right? Quorum is formed, right? Majority is formed, right? If you're the one that is the minority, you have to really accept the fate. See, that's one of the things you put in your agreement too, that in the case where we cannot agree on something, we put it to votes. And if they put it to vote and you lose, you count your loss and move on. You see, democracy takes a lot of maturity. And this is why I was telling somebody of recent that there's no African country that's been able to practice democracy successfully. There's no country in Africa that is doing well on democracy. And I said the reason for that is not that democracy is not meant for Africa, is that Africa isn't mature enough for majority, because what this you call majority votes, majority of the vote. Democracy is not about what is right or what's wrong. It is what is most popular, right? Let's not forget that in this generation, our children will hear that once upon a time, Fela Durotoye, and I'm just using Fela as an example. Everybody knows Fela is well-spoken, very intelligent, right? Everybody knows Fela Durotoye. Once upon a time, we remember in this life that Fela Durotoye once ran for president next to a Buhari and did not get 0.01% votes of Buhari. Do you know how hard that thing is hard to phantom, right? In case it doesn't make sense to you, imagine 2 of them entering a room to apply for the same job. Will you have chosen Buhari over Fela in any job? But why did people choose Buhari? Is popularity, right? So if you're going to really grow as a team, you've got to succumb to, right, majority vote. That's what you're calling gang about. Then if you don't want that to happen, then you now need to learn how to play politics. You see, you cannot remove business and politics. Let nobody fool you. So lobbying is a major part of boardroom politics, right? Don't forget that this big Steve Jobs we're talking about, he was voted out of a company he started. By votes, they kicked him out of a company he started. That's ganging up. So ganging up did not start today, right? Ganging up did not start today, right? So it's just how business is. So I don't have answers to your question. It's the nature of business that people will gang against you. What you now need to do to be a better politician, right? This is a bit brutal in the tone, but as you go higher, you start to understand that this tone is a boardroom tone, right? We call it punches with velvet glove, right? People punch but have velvet glove and a smile, right? But that's how it works. Else you keep being the victim. And let me end it with this quote. Life is like dinner time. You're either on the table or you're on the menu. If you're on the table, you are the one eating. If you're on the menu, you're the one that they are eating. And the difference is negotiation. Hope it makes sense to somebody.
Thank you very much, Mr. Izu. I mean, it's been absolutely amazing. And I know we could go all and all and all and all. So, Mrs. Oludari, as part of your pattern shot, you want to take this question from one of our attendees who is asking, as part of your pattern shot, this person is asked, okay, it's an anonymous attendee. He says, what qualities should I look out for in promising partner? And you also want to take it as part of your pattern shot, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay. So what quality should you look out for? I would say define your values. Who are you? What do you want from life? Where are you going? That helps you define clearly who you would want to partner with. Because like the Bible says, can two work together unless they agree? If you guys view life differently, there is no way you're going to the same place. Your view in life has to be on the same line, whether you like it or not. Are we going to the same path? Yes. Now, like you said, is understanding. The older you grow, those lines become very thin. Oh, this is the good thing, this is the bad thing. But the truth is, your values would always be definite. What are those lines that you can't cross? You need to understand, this person I want to partner with, are we on the same page on the lines that we're not going to cross? Or the person is on a different line? Because those are the things that will start to cause conflict, whether you like it or not. Once your values don't align, there would be problems. And then the second thing I would say is, how would this person complement me? What are those things that you need help on? What are the weaknesses that you need somebody that has the positive strengths to come and align with you so that you can go forward? So two things are majorly important for me: values and what would the person bring to the table as complementing you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Oludare. Mr. Izu, in 1 minute, your pattern shot as regards startup partnership and selecting a mentor. Thank you very much, sir.
It's really hard to add anything after Madam has said what she said, because those are like the exact words, and I agree 100%. I think that one thing people need to do is change their mindset of what success looks like. Nigeria gives an illusion that it is a badge of honor to make it yourself. In reality, there's no such thing as I made it myself. Lone Ranger is originally a cartoon concept. It's a cartoon called a Lone Ranger. There's something called a Lone. There's a particular cartoon called Lone Ranger. It's a caricature. It didn't exist. It's just a cartoon. There is no such thing in life as Lone Ranger. Everybody that's climbing up the ladder had somebody up there that threw the ladder down, and somebody down there that held the ladder while he's climbing. If you understand that, you treat people differently, right? You take away the pride that makes you not ask for help, right? I'm trying to clap with one hand. You see how you can't hear me? Just see this. Can you see how much you can hear me? Because two just came together. To go fast, you go alone. To go far, you go together. Teamwork will make the dream work. It's a skill to ask for help. It's a skill to ask for help. But if you ever need to ask for help, don't be a parasite. Give value first while you ask for help. One thing I've learned is when I see someone, the first thing that hits me is, how can I add value to this guy first? Even if I don't have anything else to ask from him. Even if there's something to ask first, I want to give him something first. So I'm researching on what does he not have in his life, right? And I'm sending him an email saying, I notice you're so good at this. Can I help you with this? And then it gives us access. So to go fast, you go alone. To go far, you go together. Cheers. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at the top.
Absolutely amazing, Mr. Izu. I
We're asking for you guys social media. So if you can share your social media handle, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Ladies first, right?
Yeah. I'm going to type it.
Okay.
Mr. Izu, there's a question here. Sorry, I've asked for your parting
call
already.
It's good to call it, because we have people watching us on YouTube and Facebook. So you can type it as well as call it. So that means.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, sir. I didn't get to hear that. My network.
No, it's okay. Mr. Izu and Mrs. Oludare can social media handle and also call it out, so that those who are watching us on Instagram and Facebook can also hear the social media handle. Thank you.
Okay. So I'll do ladies first. For me, it's Ibukun Oludare at Ibukun Oludare on Instagram, while on Facebook, it's at Ibukun Akinyele Oludare. And then for my business page is at Pine and Ivory Furniture, and then Pine and Ivory Limited. So I'll just type that out.
Thank you very much, Ma. So, Ms. Izu, you can also give out your handle now for persons who attend to their question. You can reach out to them. Mr. Izu.
My handle is Izu, E-I-Z. If you just search on Izu, you'll be able to find it quite a bit of a not a very regular name, so I'm sure there's only one Izu, E-I-Z-U. So just search it on Instagram, LinkedIn, or Facebook, or YouTube, and you'll find content. You find my profile. But I've also dropped the link for me.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mrs. Oludare. Thank you very much, Mr. Izu. It's been absolutely amazing having this section with us. And truth be told, I'm very sure everyone on this panel today have learned one or two things. And we've come to learn, to relearn, and learn again. Thank you very much, Mr. Barry. I want you to draw the curtain on this note for us. Thank you very much, Mr. Barry.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Oludare and Professor Izu.
Thank you for having us.
For this knowledge that you are giving to us today. I believe that the audience wants to reach out to you for personal consultation. So they are free to do so. They can reach you on your social media handle and have a personal consultation with you. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, my distinguished audience, for your stay on par. Thank you for staying on. I'm sure you're getting value. So for my audience, I want you to share with me now via the chat box 2 key learning points that will go with you for life from these 2 sessions we just had. 2 key learning points that will go with you, will stick with you for life. Okay, please share on the chat box. Let me see 2 key learning points that you have taken away from this panel section that will stick to you and with you for life. Share. To go far, go alone. But to go far, you go together. Okay, that's Jake. Once you know you are losing value for something you don't have, quickly find a co-founder. Good. Someone that has that value you are losing. Good. From Timitope, I've taken the importance of having a partner. Okay. From perpetual mentorship and partnership. All right. Let's share. Just 2 key learning points that will stick to you for life and influence and improve you as an individual, as well as your business. Please share with us. Let's see more. Let's see more on the chat box. Let's see more on the chat box. More on the chat box. More on the chat box. Okay, partnership. As for Mary, okay, partnership is interdependence. Okay, that's good. Partnership is essential for business growth. Oh, beautiful. From Florence, teamwork makes things work. Okay, let's share more. From Starter, Salam, no staff can replace the place of a partner. Absolutely. Okay, Adebayo, Teslim, with partners, business can really go more than expected. Good. Yeah. Let's keep sharing. Ready to see more of this. Okay. Okay, that's from Jake. To go far, go alone. But to go fast, go together. Always have a destination plan or goal that's similar with your partner. That's good. From Josephine, Partnership helps business to excel. Okay, from Rose, Tinubu and Buhari partnership will still to me for life. Okay. The one that Mr. Izu shared. Okay. How to build a successful business with a partner rightly. Good. From Temitope, okay, I've learned to have groups of professionals at different stages of our business. Okay, that's good. Okay. So now we're going to the grand finale of today's session. GTEX Holding, founder, Stephen Akita Foundation, the most influential and most recognizable coach, real estate investment coach in Africa, recognized by Forbes, is no other person than Dr. Stephen Akita. Welcome on board, sir. Welcome.
Can you guys hear me? Hello. Can everybody hear
Yes,
me?
we can hear you very well, sir. We can hear you very well.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. How many of you think this has been a great presentation? I've learned a lot. I was also participating and learning, I'm an addicted learner. So I'm big on always having to learn, always having to get opportunity to pick a thing or two all the time. I'm super excited that this conference has been so impactful. We've had amazing trainers who have added value to every single one of us. And today is day 3, and then tomorrow is the final day. So in wrapping up day 3, I want to take us through a journey around, being customer-centric with your business. Every of the breakthrough I've seen with our company has always been as a result of a leap in how we treat our customers. I realized that each time we took extra step in treating our customers special, our business grow bigger and better. And so I'm going to share a few tips as a startup, as a founder. How do you invest in treating your customer better? How do you invest in having a different conversation that is quite unique with your customers? How do you build a better relationship with your customers? How do you bring your customer into your world? We need to know how, let me start with this company. I don't know if you know Zappos.com. Zappos.com. How many of us know the company? If you do, just type I know them. If you don't know them, type I don't know them. They were bought by Amazon for over $2 billion. And what excites Amazon about this company and why Amazon bought them was just their customer-centric nature, right? They were exceptionally customer-centric. In fact, I don't know that they do it now because they are now owned by Amazon. It's believed that at some point, let's assume, Zappos is in Nigeria and they are based in Lagos, and you call Zappos customer care and you tell them, hello, my name is Stephen Akinta. I'm currently in Ilorin, Kwara State, and I'm going to, Ogbomosho, Ile Akinsi, right? Remember I said they sell shoe. They will say, a minute. According to Google Map, you need to go to so bus stop. And then you need to take a bus, and then they will ask, what's your best mode? And then describe how you can get to Ogbomosho and Ile Akinsi to you. Now, you did not ask them that you wanted to buy shoe. right? You asked for description to get into a place, and yet they took their time to do it. That's how customer-centric they are. So how many of you think that's quite a lot to do? Right? If you think that's quite a lot, just type, that's interesting. Okay? I think that's interesting, right? Because we sell shoes, and now I'm going extra mile to take care of whatever question you have. So in these days and age, companies that are going to go far are going to be companies that are customer-centric. We want to look at innovation, the concept of customer-centric and how to innovate products and services based on customers' needs and feedback. Now, customer-centric innovation is a strategic approach that focuses on creating products and services tailored to the needs, preference, and feedback of customers. By placing customers at the center of innovation processes, businesses can ensure that their offer are relevant, valuable, competitive. Here are in-depth look into some of those things. So let's look at how to go about this. Now, one is inspiration. So if you want to go this route of being exceptionally innovative in terms of how you treat your customer, you have to be inspiring. And the inspiration is to start with even your marketing products, your campaign, your adverts has to be inspirational. How many of us have noticed this with Coca-Cola? How many of us have noticed this with Coca-Cola? That all Coca-Cola's advert does not really talk about the drink, but has a lot to do with inspiration. How many of you have noticed this? Share my Coca-Cola, Uyinka, Jide, that concept of branding Coke and it was carrying people's name. It was all about inspiration, right? Share happiness. Even when you look at the slogan, it's all about just giving you some inspiration, right? It's not really much about the fact that there's soda and sugar in a bottle. And a lot of us focus our adverts a lot more about the products. You know, I tell this a lot with our team. I say this a lot with our team in our housing. I say if you over focus on the house, you will not sell. Be inspirational. Come up with adverts that just give, that is at the end, we even know it's house you are selling. Because we've just had so much time, we've been inspired. And at some point, we just realized that, oh, yeah, you're trying to sell, you're trying to sell a house. Come on, are we learning here? Are we learning, guys? If we're learning, type, I'm learning. By the way, get everybody back here. Okay, we need to get more people back in the room. I know we've been here for a while, but this is the last class and we're going to be done in a short while. Creativity is the next. You have to be creative with your engagement with your customers. Analytical. You have to ask questions. If you're in Nigeria and most of your clients are in diaspora, you have to know the timing. We started 24/7 customer service because we realized that most of our clients were in diaspora, Canada, US. And by the time we're closing work, they are even still at work. And it's when most of us are sleeping that they are comfortable to now make good calls and conversation about their land or housing needs. And so we started 24/7, where some people resume shift by 7 p.m. in our office, and it's run even till today. And so if you call us 2 a.m., 3 a.m., somebody is picking the call. And by the way, somebody can help me test this because sometimes I also test. I'll just call randomly the official numbers just to see whether somebody will pick. So you can also help me do that. If you find yourself being awake by 2 a.m., just call GTEX Holdings customer service line and let me know whether somebody picks. If somebody doesn't pick, you can chat me up so that I know who were on duty that day.
okay, that didn't do their job. But we had to, you know, be analytical enough to say, hey, calling these people 10 a.m. doesn't make sense because they are sleeping. Use technology, right? CRM, there are a lot of CRM tools that you can use. You know, there are a lot of softwares you can build, teamwork, and more importantly, celebrate success and let your customers even know what success means to your company. Is this making sense, guys? If it makes sense, type, it makes sense. It makes sense. Okay, if it makes sense, please type, it makes sense. Understanding customer-centric. Let's look at the definition. Customer-centric is the basic approach that prioritizes the need and experiences of the customer in all aspects of operations, from product development to customer service. And number two, it helps to build stronger customer relationship and loyalty. Number three, lead to increased customer satisfaction and retention. Number three, right? Drives business growth by ensuring products and services meet real customer demand. Now, I have a very important question for you. How many of you notice that many companies have stopped calling their customer care offices and changed the name to Experience Center? Some of you have noticed that, including churches. Right? How many of you noticed that? That even churches now call Experience Center. Some of you have noticed that word, Experience Center. Okay? Even churches say, oh, worship with us in any of our experience centers. Right? And you see companies say, visit our next experience center. Because people are realizing that, look, for it to be customer-centric, it has to be about experience for the customer. Create an unusual, special experience for them. The more you can give them this unusual experience, this experience that gives them goose pimples, the more you will get them to do business with you. How many of you notice, for example, in our business of real estate, people sometimes enjoy, you know, wearing glasses and going through the entire 3D experience than they actually do seeing the real house. If you get what I'm saying, just type, I get it, right? People prefer, you know, putting on the glasses and going through the 3D experience, right? And all of that and walking through is like you're an avatar. They enjoy it and even actually coming down to your site and then seeing the house for real. So I tell people who sell houses, why ask me to come down to Bejuleki when your office in Ikoyi, your office in Omole can be an experience center? You can ask me to come to the place and I can put on the glasses and I'll have the same experience as though I have just come to Ibejuleki. You've saved me commute time and I've still gotten even a better experience than I might feel if I were to come physically. Does this make sense at all? Don't forget that word, experience, customer experience, customer fulfillment. Another word is customer fulfillment. How have you noticed that? Customer fulfillment. Customer fulfillment, right? These are all centered around customer-centricness. Now, steps to achieving customer-centric innovation. Number one, conducting market research, right? Ask questions. What do people need? What are they looking for? What is their pain point in this business that you're doing? A lot of us are obsessed about starting a business, but did you do a survey? Did you do an analysis of people who are interested in that product and services to ask what is their pain point? What is the thing that gets them angry? What is it that they don't get, that they hate the most? Most of us don't do that. I give us a practical example. OPay, Kuda Bank, right, for the Nigerian business. A lot of you remember that one of the major reasons people patronize OPay is the speed of transaction. You try and make payment with OPay while the thing is still ringing, you've gotten a lot of debit, right? Kuda Bank, you know, gave these experiences as a result of, oh, there's no bank charges compared to the conventional banks who were charging. Now, the same thing happened with what's it called? With Uber, right? How many of us remember when the world still used to use taxi, right? And that was a major tool, right? The taxi person is losing money because if he's driving down empty, let's say he dropped the last passenger took place, moved from Heathrow Airport to central London, right? And by the time he's coming back, he's blowing empty. Who remembers, right? So naturally, he now charge you virtually twice. He charge you for the fact that he will still come back to Heathrow Airport to pick the next passenger, and he will come empty. So his prices go up. What did the Uber app did? The Uber app was able to reduce the price because now the cab is able to take passenger down to central London and bring people back again to Heathrow Airport just with a mobile app. So sometimes if you can just do some survey, you will see that your business can do better. Your business can service better. Develop customer persona. Create a detailed profile. We call it customer avatar. What's the age range of my customer? Where do they live? Right? What ethnic are they from? What ethnic coloration? Implement customer service feedback loop. Establish channel for continuous feedback, such as review, social media, customer support interaction. Regularly analyze feedback to identify common theme and areas for what? For improvement. Okay, so let's look at the agile methodology. Design thinking approach. Use thinking methodologies to empathize with customers, define problem, ideate solution, prototype and test. Focus on interactive development and refinement based on customer input. Now, agile development. Adopt agile methodologies to quickly develop, test, refine product based on ongoing customer feedback. Use short development cycle sprint to introduce new features and improvement regularly. Co-creation and customers. Involve customer directly in the innovation process. Co-creation workshop, beta testing, feedback sessions. Encourage customers to share their feedback, right? So, for example, I believe Farouk Usman is here. Now, imagine, because I'm using housing for this because we sell houses. Now, imagine Farouk Usman, who is our CEO, GTEX Homes, coming up with and it's a true experience, virtual co-creation experience with GTEX Homes, right? And we're using a software, interior decoration software. I think Mrs. Ibukun is gone because we could partner with her on this. And then we begin to check different houses we're building in GTEX Homes, and then begin to put different furniture, different interior concepts. Farouk, if you're here, put on your video. And then asking live show, and then asking our clients to vote, right? And go with Zoom poll now, right? And say, which one do you prefer? So you see, with this artwork, with this furniture, with this rug, what do you think? Right? And you get the polls. That's co-creation now. Okay, with this color, remember we're talking about a color used to paint exterior, right? Okay, look at the exterior of this house with this color, with this color, with this color, with this color. Which one do you guys prefer? And then we continue that process. How many of you, by the way, watching this, let's even do that poll right now, would prefer to buy from a real estate company that takes you through the process of color, design, interior, compared to those who just give you the house to buy? Come on, talk to me. How many of you? I want your answer. Quickly, guys, type. How many of you will prefer those who go take you through? Let's vote on what you prefer, right? This interior, that interior, this design, that design. How many of you will buy more from such people compared to those who just build? They didn't carry along the co-creation process. Okay, good. Now, how many of you will market for free? refer companies for free, even if you are not buying, maybe because you couldn't afford it or for whatever reasons, will gladly refer for free companies that carried you along the co-creation experience. How many of you will do that? Okay, if you do that type, I will do it, I will do it, I will do it. So imagine a Guinness Book of Record experience, right? Where GTS hasn't built 25,000 houses, right? But we do a Guinness Book of Record show of analyzing, okay, let's say it's going to be 1,000 concepts in our 25,000 homes. And then we're analyzing them. Of course, we can be changing presenters every 2 hours. And then we're not stopping, even if it's for 7 days. And then Guinness will give us the record. I'm not sure if you agree with me. We'll probably, the next problem will be that we will sell more than, right, we can think of. People will just be all over us, right, just because of this. Now, by the way, those of you who are startups, do you see again that money is not the problem? You see now, a lot of time we overrate money in business when there are so many customer-centric concepts you can come up with that will just put us in a better position. So let's look at the agile methodology, right? Number 1, plan. Number 2, design. Number 3, develop. Number 4, test. Number 5, develop. Deploy, sorry. Number 5, deploy. Number 6, review. Right? So again, let me go over it. The agile methodology: plan, design, develop, test, deploy, and review. Right? So with this concept, you will build a better customer experience. Okay, so let's look at it quickly. Innovative products and services. Identify customer pain points. Enhance customer experience. So let me give you our own practical experience here. When we started our housing project, right, when we wanted to do real estate development, I asked myself, what is the number 1 pain point of people want to buy land or house? We realized trust is the issue. Trust. Trust is the issue. Today, I had an experience of a land that somebody brought to us to buy. Right? Farouk, you won't believe this. This land, I've been trying to buy this same land for the last 8 years. No, for the last 6 years. Right? I think Farouk did not know. The same land, different people, different sellers, different individuals. So on our way back from a tour, I just said, let's branch. Another person showed up, described the place. I said, take me to the place. Only to get there, the same land I've checked twice. This time around, somebody else had put their signage. And Farouk went there last week. Right? Before you know it, some thugs, area boys started coming out. Hey, woo. There's no land here. Don't let anybody deceive you people. Hey. I became quite noisy. In fact, they were doing video recording me. It was a mess. But where am I going with the conversation? When I was starting this business, that was the same problem. It's always been there. Trust issues. So one of the things we started was to always do what we call virtual inspection for our customers. We'll go to the site and we'll do a live show and say, well, watch us here or see us here, right? We're here, we're doing this video, this is our estate, there's value here. And then we realized that people were more comfortable, at least that they have seen what we said we're selling, compared to them not seeing. But we had to come up with the idea. Because, okay, we're in a business where people don't trust people. We're the first to start virtual inspection. We're the first to start delivering customers' documents to them anywhere in the world with the partnership with DHL, all to enhance trust. We're the first to start 24/7 customer service, all to enhance trust, right? Because we knew the pain point of the customer and we're ready to solve it. And we came up with different solutions to solve that pain point. And that is how to really, really become customer-centric. Okay, personalize the experience. Personalize it. I think our customer service team now, depend on what you buy, you get 3-star in your name. If you buy more, they will give you 5-star. It's literally a design they will send to you, right, with your name. Okay, because you did business, to customize the experience. I think I'll give an example. Again, I'm using real estate because that's my industry. Imagine, I want to ask all of you a question again. Imagine buying a house, and then the day they're handing over the key to you, you have a footmat in your name stating Dr. Stephen Akintayo, welcome, or welcome to Dr. Stephen Akintayo family, right? And that's the footmat in front of the house as they give you the key. How many of you think that footmat, even though it may not cost 100,000, but because it's customized, give a unique feel? Come on, talk to me. If you, right, if you feel good just because of a footmat that says, welcome Dr. Stephen Akintayo to your house, or welcome to Dr. Stephen Akintayo's family house. And that footmat alone just give a feel. How many of you agree with me? I can see everybody saying unique feel. Jake, he says, I feel good 100%. Like, it would be just exceptional. So figure out a way, guys, to customize experiences for your customers. Let it be unique to them. Let them feel it's them and them alone. Leverage technology. We're about to launch our ERP system. Of course, I'm hoping it's AI enabled so that it's learning. Of course, sustainability and social media response is big. I have grown our business massively because of social media. So let's look at case studies. Apple is one of that. Go to Apple Store, you just enjoy the customer experience. Even if you are not buying Apple, you just enjoy the experience. You will take pictures. You will just love the simplicity of every store of Apple. Simple as ABC. Nothing complex. No complex logo. I hate coming to a house and then there are 2 colors in the painting. Even if it has to be 2 color, it has to be white and red, black and white. In other words, there must be 1 color. You know, technically white and black is not a color. Do you understand what I'm talking about now? Right? So you're just touching it with this, and the red must not be too loud or mustn't take over. The white must be majority. The red is just taking a little space there, right? Apple has made us to know simplicity is the secret here. Amazon, right? With the delivery and going extra mile. Nike, right? These are companies that have taken over the world and their industry just because they decided to be unique. I don't know if you have gotten value today. I wanted to keep it short so we can close early. So, like I told you the last time I told you, the Stephen Akintayo University price is going up. So, if you're buying today, it is 90. Come on, guys. You put 97, Joshua. The first point says 3 months, $97. The second one says 3 months, $261. Joshua, what's going on here? Mr. Barry, your graphic guy has made a mistake. So the first one is 1 month. Instead of $247, you pay $97. The other one is 3 months. Instead of $741, you pay $261. And the next one is 6 months. Instead of $1,497, you pay $462. And then instead of 12 months, you pay $924 instead of paying $2,964. Now, by the next time I'm here, the price will still go up. The SAU is one of the most, is my biggest legacy even more than real estate, because all my life work is there and that of my mentors. Okay. Don't forget the Global Founders Conference book promo, where you can get all my 42 books and you're getting them literally. And good news, if you're getting all my 42 books physically, I'm giving you Stephen Actel University access 3 months free. Right? What again? What's 3 months value of Stephen Actel University? That's $267. That's $391,500 free. You're getting that free. If you're getting the soft copy, I asked us to put the price of the soft copy. They still haven't put it. Joshua, I said this flyer should have hard copy price, soft copy price. I can't see soft copy price. Right? Hard copy price is supposed to be $3,000, 4.5 million. But if you're buying today, you pay $567, 850,000. And the soft copy is $200 instead of $1,000. Right? $200 instead of $1,000. Soft copy. Because some people want soft copy. And I said on the landing pages, you have both options. So go to this website, stephenactel.com/anniversary, and you can take. So if you're buying the soft copy for $200, you get 1 month access to Stephen Actel University. You see what's $97 for free. Okay. Take advantage of this. They will put it also in the group, community group. We have this community group. All of you should join. They don't already announce it. We need to keep announcing every day. Join the community group that we have, and more information is also there. The one-on-one mentorship is also available for you. Take advantage of that if you want to. I think this offer, they don't ever give it outside today, so rush it today. And don't forget our Cameroon tour. Register early, pay flexible, and then we all meet in Cameroon. Thank you. God bless you. I appreciate you.
All you have to do is believe. Thank you very much, Dr. Stephen Akitayo. It's been absolutely amazing. We've gotten a lot of value from what you've taught us this evening. And I'm also sure the same thing applies to every person that is on this platform. So you want to try and, as much as possible, to join all of these platforms that have been said, because learning is continuous, and I'm very sure we want to continue to learn. Once again, Dr. Stephen, we want to say thank you for this platform that you've given to every one of us to try. We've been absolutely amazing. Thank you. Thank you. We can't really thank you less. Mr. Barry, any parting notes before we call it a day? Mr. Barry.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Stephen Akitayo. Thank you, all my audience, for staying up to this time. We'll come to the end of today's session. Tomorrow is the last day. We're going to start by exactly 1 p.m. time, Nigerian time. But I would recommend that you are logged in at least 12. As I usually say in the closing sessions, please do us a favor. Okay, I've not seen the impact of that favor on the numbers yet. Because if you had all done a 1-minute video or a testimonial and then you had posted on your social media platforms and tagged us in the process, I'm sure the numbers would have been tripled by now. But it's okay. We are glad that you took our time to attend day 1, day 2, day 3, and then final day tomorrow, day 4. So don't forget, you have the opportunity now to register. We're going to send a link to you now. The link to register for Dr. Stephen's one-on-one mentorship. Take the opportunity now while it is available. Okay, so we're going to put the link again on the platform, on the chat box. Please go there now, click on it now, and register for Dr. Stephen Akitayo's one-on-one mentorship. I'm sure you already heard from benefactors of his mentorship program, how it has helped to transform and grow their businesses. Don't go the long route of suffering. Go the route that will lead you to your success through this mentorship program. Also, you are new to real estate. You want to learn more about real estate. You can do two things at the same time. One, get knowledge from our Stephen Akintayo University online program. The link will be also sent to the group now. Click on the link, register, okay, and then we'll grant you access. The second thing you can do is join the practical GTEx Academy, GTEx and Associates practical hands-on program. We will handhold you on how to sell in real estate. You get practical life lessons. You get hand-holding on how to sell in real estate. So the Business and Associates link will also be sent now to the chat. Take advantage of all of this. And also, Dr. Stephen has just given you a fantastic promo. Can you imagine 42 books worth over $3,000 is given to you at a heavily discounted rate of only $547. What are you waiting for now? Why don't you just take advantage now? Click on the link, register, take these books, and then you're on your way to knowledge. You're on your way to understanding how real estate works in any part of the world. Okay, so do we have any comments from the audience? Any comments? So please go now to the chat box. You can see it there. You have the link to register for one-on-one mentorship. You have the link for the Stephen Akintayo University, and then you can also WhatsApp Mr. Goke on 08089184172 right away if you want us to induct you into the GTEx and Associates. We're giving you all these wonderful platforms now to enable you start your journey towards real estate investment and growth. And also, any other business that you do, you can also benefit by taking advantage of all of these offers we have on the platform. Once again, I want to say a very wonderful thank you to everyone who has taken time to be here from 1 p.m. to now. Tomorrow is the very last day, and tomorrow we have wonderful speakers. Oh, wonderful speakers. Hey, you can't wait to see those who will take you tomorrow. We have also wonderful panelist session tomorrow. What we will not cover today, we will cover in depth tomorrow. And then for those of you who registered for the business sense course, that course will be holding in September. Okay, the details will be sent to you, okay, on the group. And if you have not registered on the WhatsApp platform, please do so now. Can we post the WhatsApp platform link now? Click on it now and register, because videos, clip will be dropped on that platform. Other details and information will be dropped on that platform. So please register on the platform now as we are about to leave the class. Okay? So once again, I want to say thank you to everyone and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye for now. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Learn how to start and build a business into a successful global company. Learn how to trade Forex, stocks, and crypto in the financial market. You can learn how to build a real estate empire like Dr. Stephen Akintayo, and even learn about e-commerce, public speaking, and digital marketing. With our new state-of-the-art mobile app, creating wealth by gaining knowledge is even easier. You can now take your classes on the go and in multiple languages, interact with tutors, join an ongoing discussion, and expand your horizons. Download the Stephen Akintayo University app today and start your journey to financial freedom.
Failure is actually quitting. That something didn't work does not mean you failed. You have only now failed when you what? When you quit, when you say, I'm not going to do it again.
This is a wealth revolution. Global Wealth Festival is back again. Now in the USA. This is for $1 million masterminds only.
You send too much. You are too shy. You are too shy for success.
Today I found the event really informative.
Privileged to be able to glean from.
This is phenomenal. The Global Wealth Festival, which is taking place
at the JW Marriott Houston downtown, 806 Main Street, Houston, Texas. Date 23rd to 24th August 2024. Time 9 a.m.
Global Wealth Festival.
Global Wealth
Festival.
Visit www.stephenakintayo.com/GWFUSA to book your seat now. To get your copies of the Billionaire Habits, Billionaire Code, Billionaire Habits for Entrepreneur, Billionaire Land Banker, and Maximizing Real Estate Investment. Order from Amazon now or contact the details on your screen.
I've decided to come here in partner with Cocoa Food Bank, to feed over 500 people here today, over 500 widows, just to support them with our token. Spirit of Dr. Stephen's birthday. So all thanks to God for keeping Dr. Stephen alive till today and for supporting him today. So we decided to just, give back to the community and support them with our token.
I thank Dr. Stephen Akintayo for the widows, the widowers, the non-widows who are here today. We really appreciate, and I say thank you to every one of my ilé-iṣẹ́ wọ́n mọ̀ tí ọ̀nà wà láti jáde ó kọjá ìdílé ọ̀nà ṣe fún wa lọ́kàn ṣàánú àwọn.
Olúwa máa fún yín àti ẹ̀dì ìṣẹ̀yẹ́ máa ní ìgbìyànjú lórúkọ Jésù.
Hello guys, how are you doing today? I'm Dr. Stephen Akintayo, Chairman GTEX Holdings.
My name is Kanayo O Kanayo, of course,
AKA Sacrifice.
Nice sacrifice.
So guys, those of you in the US who are doing a road tour, it's a meet and greet. He is also a couple of books and he will be signing it. I'm also coming with my books and we'll be signing. I'll be sharing a lot of life lessons, investment, building wealth, and other amazing stuff. So we need you to tell us which city in the US you think we should come to.
I know we are coming to Maryland,
yes,
Houston,
yes,
but tell us the city you prefer we'll come to, where we'll be well received, create wealth, knowledge, of course, investment. We take care of your investments back home.
Yes.
You take care of the US side.
Yes. Okay, we can't wait to see you guys. So comment on this video, drop your comments on the comment section. We would like to, who knows, we may come to your city just because you commented, right? And tell us why we should come to your city.
We look forward to seeing you 15th of August to 30th of August 2024.
Okay, so we can't wait. We love you. Bye-bye.
We've had Grant Cardone. We've had Dr. John Maxwell. We've had Ryan Serrant for the Global Wealth Festival. We are back again to the United States of America for the Global Wealth Festival USA.
Dr. Stephen's with me. This guy is amazing, phenomenal human being, okay? I got 10,000 people watching this today.
I respect you greatly because you have taken the initiative, you've taken the step to say, we want to make things better for people. And I love to be with people to add value to people, and you do.
What's up? There you go. All right, get focused.
Take these beautiful things that I've got. Please stay. I want you, I need you, oh God. Don't take these beautiful.
To book your seat today, visit www.stephenakintayo.com/GWFUSA.
Across Africa, the dream ignites. The dream of building a better future, of turning passion into purpose, and of achieving financial freedom. But the path to success can be a lonely one, limited access to resources, a lack of mentorship, and the weight of doubt can hold even the brightest dreams. These are the challenges faced by countless aspiring African entrepreneurs. This is where the Stephen Akintayo Foundation steps in. We are a beacon of hope, a bridge to opportunity. We believe that education and mentorship are the keys to unlocking Africa's full potential. Through our comprehensive support programs, we provide aspiring entrepreneurs with the tools they need to succeed. And with your support, we can unlock even more potential of a content. For sponsorship and donations, kindly contact the numbers on the screen or visit www.stephenakintayofoundation.org. Stephen Akintayo Foundation, empowering African dream.